Oh my God, guys. Talking about turbulence. Talking about turbulence. First of all, the train is pulling out mad late. What are we, 21 minutes late? Okay, on this train ride. Yes, all aboard and hurry up like it is insanity tonight. Okay, everything went sideways and went crazy. But guess what? That's not stopping the party. The train is still going to pull out of the station. Okay, and just a little update. If y'all was here with me yesterday, I had a whole shoe debacle, okay? My shoes was delivered somewhere else. No, they did not find the shoes. But I woke up this morning. That's right, clear. Choo choo, okay? Ain't gonna stop this train. Woke up this morning and my credit was there. Man talking about, oh, it's gonna take days. No, my credit was there this morning. You know what I'm thinking though? I'm thinking for sure, because you know how a lot of these delivery services now, they take a picture when they just drop something at your door. I'm sure when they sent Nordstorms the picture, it wasn't my house, it wasn't my address. I'm about to say my address. Good gosh, okay, it's a mess. It's a mess. All this turbulence. But guys, this train is pulling out. Let me put the people on the train, because they was like, what is going on? We got our ticket. They were starting to scream for a refund, but no, the train is leaving the building. Hold on one second now. Hey, Robin.
Hey, how you doing?
Yes. Listen, the train is late, but we leaving. We pulling out the station.
You know how it is when you're on the train, they ask you to get off the train because they got to put a new one in because this was out of service.
That's right.
We're back on the right train and the right track. We good.
Thank you. Here we go, Robin. Hey, Sebastian.
How you doing?
How you doing? Listen, the train is pulling out. Okay, let's get these people on this train. Hey, E.
Hey, Diva. Hey, everybody.
Hey, Emmanuel.
Hey, everybody. Happy Wednesday.
Happy Thursday, right?
Oh, it's Thursday?
Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday.
Yes.
He's already started. He already started taking drinks.
Don't take us backwards, Emmanuel. We're almost to the weekend.
We almost to the weekend. Hey, Val.
Hey.
What's going on?
Listen, I got my first class Orient Express ticket. I'm here tonight because the tickets don't work in the chat. So I got to come to the pen and talk about Miss Giselle. I'm ready.
Okay. And listen, the bar is going to be open tonight, and so is the food court. But obviously, a Chef Kev probably wondering, did the train pull out? Where's the train? What happened? What's going on? Okay. That's what Chef Kev is probably wondering. So maybe he's going to come in eventually at one of these stops. But we got to get this train going. First of all, thank all of y'all for being here. Glad to see you. Glad y'all figured out where the train was pulling out from, and y'all are here in the building to entertain us and be with us. Also, I want to say this, guys. I am literally 44 subscribers away from 20K. Woo! So guys, if you have been hanging out in the background wondering, do I really want to be a part of this diva thing? Listen, hit that subscribe button. Help me get to 20K before the end of the week. All right. So now let's get into this, because we got to get this train going. Have you heard, people? Have you heard? I'm a little shocked. Phaedra and actually the cast of Married to Medicine is excited and have been begging her and really want her to come on Married to Medicine. Phaedra Parks is joining Married to Medicine. Do y'all want this? Are
No,
y'all ready for this? And in
no.
addition to that, let me say this. Sometimes what people don't understand, see, sometimes people say, oh, this person is reality TV gold, okay? Reality TV gold. And they're looking at Phaedra Parks as reality TV gold. And they're thinking, you know what? We're probably tittering up there at the top. If Phaedra comes over here, we're really going to make this thing happen. But I think, and this is just my opinion, that certain people mesh together, right?
Mm.
So when those people mesh together, that's what makes TV magic. Phaedra Parks, in my opinion, she meshed with Kandi before her and Kandi had the big debacle. She messed with Nene Leakes, like they blended well together. And Kim and whoever else was on the cast, the time that Phaedra was on the cast, that's what made it work. Will she bring that same magic over to Married to Medicine? And what are we doing now? You know, I guess Phaedra's supposed to be talking to engage, having conversation with a doctor. But this is the mess that we're doing. The good thing that used to happen over there at Married to Medicine is the people were actually married to medicine.
Yeah.
Now we're bringing Phaedra over there to do what? To do what?
Get a
Okay,
paycheck.
Right.
to get a
They might
paycheck, I
need.
guess.
They might need to change.
But
They might need to
but go
change the
ahead,
show from
Robin.
Mary.
We
Oh
might as
yeah.
well start with you. What do you think about Phaedra Parks and Married to Medicine?
I think that Phaedra Parks going to Married to Medicine has all the makings of a disaster.
Oh,
Besides the fact I don't believe her to be, besides her not being married to medicine, I believe based on what I have seen of her, and remember, I haven't watched Roa in years, but my
right.
recollection of her is that she is queen of chicanery, buffoonery, and foolishness.
Oh,
And I think that she
Mm.
lacks, especially given her profession, she lacks the bona fides. I think that she lacks the demonstrated credential that the other people Married to Medicine bring. I just can't imagine her giving us moments like Dr. Jackie does, giving us education about women's health. I can't imagine, those are the kinds of things. And I think that she is not up to par. But I also think that she's on because she's not doing anything, and we don't hear her lawyering. And I actually saw,
Oh.
I have to use this word. I saw Carlos King on a thing earlier today, and he said, and I quote, "There is no life after Housewives." So
oh,
that's what he started naming them. I'll tell you what I'll put in the chat. But he started naming all the different people. It's like, well, what is she doing now? So
mm.
yeah,
No, you can go ahead and name them, but see, that's so harsh to say because let's be clear, Carlos King, you had life after the Housewives because you went to OWN and started your thing. If you felt like there was no life after the Housewives, but you hired Monique, who was a housewife, to be on Love and Marriage DC. See, you know what I think
because
about
that was
Carlos
the
King?
answer. Y'all
Huh?
have talked that he kind of was right. She did not do well on that. Nobody appreciated or liked her, and she's not on.
Well, you know what though? She only left Love and Marriage DC because he was about to bring out her mess.
Mm-hmm.
He likes messy. He likes messy. And I think him saying that he's being messy. You know, Bethany Frankel was running around now trashing the housewives too, right? And I think that a lot of people that end up trashing the housewives like that after
Mm-hmm.
they've been on it is because they really want back at Bravo. They really want back that Bravo check. It's like, okay, it's like spitting on the house that built you, spitting
Right.
on the house that gave you all of this money prior. I mean, Carlos King is Carlos King, but I think what Carlos King is doing is he's performing like a circus animal,
Mm-hmm.
waiting for Annie to like acknowledge and notice him, and he just wants to like kind of stick it to Andy. I wish instead of him focusing on sticking it to Andy, he would just do his thing.
Built
That's
his
just my
brand.
opinion.
Right.
I
I
could be
agree.
dead wrong.
I
Okay.
agree.
I could be dead wrong, but I feel like all of his performance and everything he do is to say to Andy pretty much, you see, I'm surviving at the Bravo, and not only am I surviving, I'm doing better than you. Because there can be life after Housewives, but it depends on, and some of them, they didn't have much going on before Housewives. So maybe that's why the transition is hard for them because they don't know how to build it up. Lisa Vanderpump, there's life for her after the Housewives, but I get part of what he's saying. Sebastian, what do you think? Phaedra Parks, Married to Medicine. But Sebastian, give me one moment before you go. Hey, Chef Kev, did you have to go stock up on the beverages?
I had to get the ice. I had to get the
Okay.
ice for the beverages.
Okay. Well,
So just
welcome
next time.
aboard. Welcome aboard. Harriet Bird said, I am wrong. Yeah, I could be wrong. It's just my opinion.
She might be talking about me.
Sebastian, go ahead. Go ahead, Robin. I'm sorry.
I said she might be talking about me being wrong.
Oh, I don't know. But go ahead, Sebastian. Sebastian, you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. I was muted.
Okay.
I already started speaking. Oh my god. First I want to say this. There's messy people in your chat. First, Phaedra joining Married to Medicine. I wonder who she's engaged or with now. Is it another fraud?
Oh,
Is it another fraud? Or we never know. We never know. It might be it could, how many doctors do medical fraud? We never know. Insurance fraud? We don't know. Because we know Phaedra loves to attract fraud and create fraud, especially when she did Kandi the way she did. Second of all, Phaedra, there's no reason for Bravo to be putting her back on something that has to do with Atlanta. Married to Medicine takes place in Atlanta. Phaedra was disrespecting Atlanta. She was literally said on Wendy's show with Michael Rappaport in verbatim that no, while Atlanta is sinking, I'll be yachting to Dubai. That's what while the Titanic of Atlanta is sinking, I'll be yachting
she
to
did.
Dubai. Those
She
were her
did.
words. Phaedra Parks is nothing but a fraud
Oh,
herself. Because if you could sit up on national TV and create a lie that could implicate someone in a very dangerous place,
She didn't create it.
you have to be the lowest
oh
ever.
my.
You have to be the
Yikes.
lowest person ever. And that's why, look at you now. You desperate to be back on reality TV after 7 years. Look at you. You're very conniving and mischievous. And you've already been dragged all over the place by those married African men that you've been with. That's it. For now.
That's it. Okay.
Wow.
Nina Love, I do agree with you. Carl King picks and chooses when he wants to keep it real with us. That's all I'm saying. Mel, Phaedra, your girl Phaedra, she's going to Married to Medicine. What do you think?
Now, why is she my girl? I don't know the lady. No,
I'm just messing with you.
Royer better watch his mouth when he's talking about Kenya. Royer better
Somebody
watch
gotta
his mouth
claim
when
her.
he's talking about Kenya.
Wait, go ahead, Mel.
Okay. So, Noah, for me, I think that actually, I'm not sure how desperate Phaedra is. I don't know. I mean, she wasn't really one of my favorites, but I think that at this point, I think Bravo may be in a desperate position, in my opinion. I think me and Dee were talking about this offline. I think that she was not on Dubai and on a girls' trip by coincidence. I think they are trying to put her anywhere they can, but Candy's very powerful, and she don't want her in Atlanta, but Bravo wants to have a connection with Phaedra. It's just blatant. They simply want to put her back in Atlanta, but they can't because Candy is. They put her everywhere else. And I also think, too, as you said, Married to Medicine maybe shouldn't be called Married to Medicine. Maybe it should be called Atlantic Housewives Part 2 because, not many people on that cast is doing as much medicine there. And I want to say also that Dr. Jackie, is no lightweight. She definitely throws shade, and she's not one of my favorites. And I also think that if Phaedra goes there, she could make it hard for her to really incorporate with the cast because basically she just won't give her no energy, basically. That's what she does to people who go there that she's not really liking. She doesn't explode on them, but she won't give them no energy. If you don't sort of engage with Dr. Jackie, you won't stay on that show very long. And also, I think that Phaedra makes friends. I think that was one of the best arguments I liked that was very cute with her and Nene about who knew who back then was about the idea that Phaedra is really, she's a networker. whether she's shady or the fraud or whatever, like Angela Stanton said or whatever, those things may be true, but I think that she does know how to network. She didn't have issues on the road trip, on that girls trip. She didn't have no issues there. She had a good time in Dubai. Everywhere she goes, she know how to put on a good front, basically.
Mel, she did have an issue.
She had an issue in Dubai?
But no, on the Ultimate Girls Trip, because when they were talking about what caused y'all to be fired, she was like, no, I don't like those type of games. We're not going to talk about what caused me to be fired. That's what she said.
Well, I mean, but she was saying, but most of the girls said that they liked her. I'm talking about after the filming.
Okay.
So you know what I'm saying, Sebastian? When her report card came back from the cast, she got an A+, basically. All the girls in the cast was just like, okay, we like Miss Phaedra. That's just what they were saying. They weren't like, oh, that one, I don't want to be in the room like they were doing with Jill Brand and other stuff. They gave her a really good grade. So I think that she can go wherever she wants to and have a good time. But she can be dangerous, and that could be interesting to have on Married to Medicine, especially with Quad there.
Oh, you know what, Mel? Now that's going to be interesting, right? To see Phaedra and Quad interact. Yeah, we may get a show. We're going to see. We may get a show. Emmanuel, Phaedra going back to, not going back, I'm sorry, going to Married to Medicine. And you know what, Mel? You made another good point. Bravo just wants her back. They don't care how and where they get it back. They really want her back on Raw, but they know Kandi, like you said about Lisa Rinna with the Real Housewives of New York. I never forgot this when you said on Sherelle's World, like she would burn Beverly Hills down. Kandi will burn Atlanta down before she shares a camera with Phaedra Park, and they know it, they know it. And that's the only reason why they was like, okay, we want her back. Let's see where we can fit her in. And I guess Married to Medicine was what the best they could do. Emmanuel, Phaedra Park on Married to Medicine.
Diva, can I say one last thing?
Yes, of course.
I was going to say that Kandi, I'm indifferent to. I don't think she's a bad woman. But I want to say this. In the history of the Bravo network, was that was done to her, between her and Phaedra, the deepest thing that ever been done on the Bravo network? Absolutely not. There's been other things happening all around, but the girls talking about people, trying to kill people. I mean, they said everything against each other. So I think that Kandi need to realize on the Housewives shows, people go dirty. They do play very dirty. That was disgusting what she did, but that happens a lot. And sometimes the girls come back to the cast, even when that's happened on OC or wherever it's happened, and they will still, continue to communicate with each other. I think that Vicky is probably one of the biggest offenders of basically trying to ruin people's lives, saying that they were in physical abusive relationships, doing drugs. I mean, let's just go down the list. Vicky will totally destroy you with the reputation, with all her rumors and stuff. She will destroy you, and she's done that many times with the girls. But they still will film with her. So, what happened to Kandi was bad, but it's not the worst that's ever happened to Bravo. And sometimes the cast realize that we need this person to be on the show because it's good for the show. And I think that, Real Housewives of Atlanta need to realize that, but a couple of members that's not on that show. We have Nene. I'm not going to go down that road. We have Portia. But, they're very interesting, Diva. We had a conversation. These girls are very interesting. Problematic, right. But very interesting. And
you know what, though? Yeah. I think Phaedra now, Phaedra's living, not Phaedra, Portia's living her best life. So Portia really don't need Roa's money, because it seems like over there, I didn't think the man really had money like that, but apparently he does, because Portia is chilling. So she don't need Roa money, and I think in order for Portia to come back to Roa, I think they're gonna have to back up the Brinks truck. They're gonna have to pay her. For real. And then I think what's going to end up happening is if they do bring her back, she will be one of the top paid housewives of all time. I think that's what happened with Portia. I can't be sure, but that's my thought on it. Emmanuel, Phaedra Parks coming to Married to Medicine.
Okay. Tell me when to stop, okay?
All
right. So first of all, let me address Sebastian. Carlos King came out on a video and he confirmed, not allegedly, he said for a fact that Bravo had approached Phaedra with 3 offers: Married to Medicine, Real Housewives of Atlanta, or Real Housewives of Dubai. So Phaedra's not thirsty. She's not desperate. If anything, it's Bravo chasing after her because they know that she is TV gold. And, I'm a little biased because I love Phaedra. She's one of my favorites besides Nene. She's really multidimensional. Like, she can be a mother. She's a Southern belle. She can be funny. She can be a fun time. And she is the real shade assassin. I mean, you remember that $10 medium-sized pizza? That was like one of the best shades in the history of the world. And, okay, I'm not saying that what she did to Kandi was okay. All right. But she didn't make it up. She repeated a rumor, just like Portia. All right. And, let's put ourselves in Phaedra's position for just a little bit. She was going through a divorce, right? And her so-called best friend and her husband, I actually blame Todd. I blame Todd for this. How would you feel if your so-called best friend and her husband take your ex's side? And not only that, they keep his stuff in their house. And not only that, Todd invites Apollo's new girlfriend to some restaurant. I don't know. I feel like Phaedra was justified to be angry. Not to repeat that lie, but I think that, she did it because she really felt betrayed. Now, I might be like reaching, but I think there's a possibility that maybe Kandi could forgive Phaedra. I think it could happen.
So, Emmanuel, now this I will agree with you. Okay, yeah, I'm sure Bravo wants it back because Bravo just wants money. They want every one of their shows to win, and who in business wouldn't, right? And they know that the people have been calling for Phaedra to come back, but they want Phaedra back on Roa. So Bravo is messing up. If they were real gangster, really wanted that money, they wouldn't put 3 offers on the table. And if they really was willing to put her back on Roa, they should have just offered her Roa. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, that's where the people really want to see her at. They want to see her on Roa because they want to see her and Kandi deal with each other. Them putting her on Married to Medicine, I gotta see how it goes. But I don't think that's really where the fans want to see her. They didn't want to see her in Dubai. And let me tell you something. I didn't really watch the whole season of Dubai. I'm not gonna lie to you. But what I saw, I was like,
yeah, it shouldn't fit in.
Right.
Actually, the one that she featured in, the episode that she featured in was one of the lowest episodes rated on that show.
Right.
It was a new show though.
No, it brought 700,000 on its first episode, but the one with Phaedra, it was low at 400 something.
She was only there for like 30 minutes, and she did have an issue with that girl from Dubai, the one with the dresses.
Chanel, was it the Chanel or whatever? But let me speak to some other things. So you're saying that Phaedra's not thirsty. No. Here's the thing. Let's be honest, Emmanuel. And I know you love her, but try to not be biased about this situation. She wants to check though, because not thirsty is at least the Vanderpump where they're gonna beg you, and she like, no, I'm good. Where if you miss the reunion, you're not gonna get paid, and you like, you know what? I don't give a darn. I'm not going to the reunion. And so they have been begging for Lisa Vanderpump to come back too. And Lisa's like, nah, and maybe now she's gonna come back because Lisa Rinna is gone. So all I'm saying is let's be clear. It's a 50-50 situation. Bravo wants her, but she wants Bravo too. Because if she didn't, why would you carry yourself to Dubai and your kids go to school here in the States and you got to take time to figure out when to get over to Dubai and then film with these ladies? Amen. So we got to be clear. She wants this too.
So you're saying you're saying it's like a win-win, like they both getting something out of it.
Yes,
but I disagree. I disagree. Let me tell you why. Because one time at the reunion, she reminded everybody, because she got a Juris Doctor. She said, "I have several degrees." She said, "I don't need this." She don't need it. She is very connected in Atlanta with the city council and everything. So she's just doing this for fun.
Well, then she should take herself to politics because Atlanta needs good politicians right now.
Well, that's a good idea.
Emmanuel, let me tell you something. With these reality shows, I'm not mad at them for doing it. But let's be clear. With these reality shows, you are selling yourself to the devil. If you don't need it, why are you doing it? I could think of plenty of other things that she can do if she really didn't need this in the money. You are exposing a whole lot to the world when you sign on the dotted line for a reality TV show. And let's be clear, the fans got mad at her. The fans got mad at her over this Kandi thing and that Kandi situation. That's all. The link should be pinned to the top. Star. But go ahead, Emmanuel.
Well, the only reason I said that maybe things could be fixed with Kandi, which I don't think it's like it's probably not a high possibility, but recently Phaedra went to an Escape concert.
Because you know why? Because you want
Why?
to know why, Manuel? I'm glad you told me that. Because she want to go back on Roa and not marry the medicine.
Thank
Okay,
you.
boom. Thank you, Emmanuel, for that piece of information that helped me out. But Emmanuel, I'll let you back at and give me a minute. What do you want to add to this conversation? Phaedra part going back to going to marry the medicine.
Well, Phaedra is thirsty. We all know that. But I think that Phaedra forgot what really made her likable. In spite of her lying every 2 seconds, because we know that she lies, but
Oh my.
she also had one of the worst case history, the records of losing cases in the history of law students at the University of Georgia. Phaedra prided herself on being educated. She presented herself as a conservative voice on reality television. Her nails were always moderate. Her hair was naturally done. Remember that Phaedra with the black hair that was to her shoulders? Okay, she looks nothing like that now. She presented herself in like a polished fashion, but ever since she met Portia Peach Juice Williams Stewart Kelly Duke Kubaya, has been trolling the internet. I don't know if you all have noticed. When she posts her little hot girl posts, and I'm infamous for saying pick a struggle, but Phaedra, her photos always looks like, there's an analogy. Hopefully, I get it right. Right, like she was rolled hard and put away wet. That's what Phaedra looks like. These these big blonde, ridiculously long wigs, these 6-inch long nails and stripper heels. It's almost like Phaedra is going through a midlife crisis. She's not the same Phaedra that the Roa fans came to love. I think that Phaedra always wanted the pretty privilege like Portia, but she didn't have the body for it. And she was too smart to get the men that she wanted, because to get the men that you want, you kind of have to be a little bit ditzy. And that's not Phaedra. But we know that she was too smart to get the men she wanted because she always dated down. I mean, how do you go from getting a law degree to end up in a halfway house playing Find the Ribbon on the how do you go? How do you go from no really? How do you go from having a pastor mom to stealing cars and printing fake car insurance at Geico? You couldn't find anything better than Apollo. You're so smart. You have all these connections. So how do you go from housewives to married to medicine? This is what I mean about this midlife crisis. But see, Phaedra is fake, so I think she'll fit right in on the show because Jackie is fake,
Oh,
Quad is fake, Nyla is fake, Contessa is fake,
oh.
Simone is loud, Heavenly is hell, and Toya is too
Watch
real.
your words.
So what you won't do is come for heavenly is
Watch
what
your
you're not gonna do.
words.
That's what you're
Watch
not
your
I,
gonna do.
I,
That's
Let
what
me
is
say
not
God
gonna
bless you,
happen on this
everybody. Y'all
one.
make me
That's what's
choke,
not
but go
gonna
ahead.
happen.
and so the
Exactly.
ratings on Married to Medicine, if you look at those, they're the lowest they've ever been. So
Mm-hmm.
what's Phaedra going to bring to the show? It's already a sinking ship. And Carlos, you got some nerve talking about there's no life after Housewives. Carlos and Phaedra, you're two peas in a pod, live messy queens, both of them. So no, I think that if she goes to Married to Medicine, I think it'll do what it's been doing, going down.
But you know what, E? I think everything you said, if everything you said about Phaedra, she's still more interesting than most of the cast on Atlanta Housewives currently. So I
Well,
think that's
everybody loves watching a train wreck. We don't love
amen.
Phaedra is interesting,
That's
but
what it
she's
is.
interesting for all the wrong reasons. And
Damn.
what was I heard somebody say earlier? She should go to politics. Atlanta has enough crooked politicians. Okay, Keisha Lance Bottoms just stepped down. We don't need anything like Phaedra in the midst of what's going on. We're still trying to get Ti and Tiny in jail, but I'm not going to steer the train off track. But Phaedra needs to stay away from our House of Representatives, and she needs to stay away from our voting polls. For
No,
sure, she needs to be in jail.
she needs to stay within the
Okay,
supermarket.
well that's that.
Oh,
Roya, you're up. Are you okay?
I'm trying to calm down and not go off on this live because it's the disrespect for me. Now, if you sit up on TV and be boring and not give nothing, you're frustrated. But then when we come and give you a show and give you something to talk about, you still frustrated. You
You
can't
mean
win
Mm-mm.
for losing for
lies?
nothing.
No,
No,
no, no. Let him
okay,
finish.
Wait,
but
let him speak. Let
lies,
him speak. Let
okay.
him speak. Yeah,
Okay.
Kenya set up
they said
on
it's a train wreck, but
TV
let him
and
speak.
lied all of her seasons. Kenya set up on TV. Candy has
But that's Miss
probably been
US
one of the
agent. I
only
get it.
honest people. Candy has probably been one of the only honest people on Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'll give it to sometimes Candy and sometimes Cynthia. But everybody else lies, cheats, and steals and does everything behind everybody's back. So Phaedra doesn't do anything that anybody on any one of these TV shows hasn't done. So to
Mm.
still have her bearing a cross for something that she repeated when we're always talking about we got to move on and forgive people and let
Okay.
go.
Come
You
on.
know, where's the
Thank
forgiveness,
you.
E? Where's the heart, E? Come on, Sebastian, where's the
I'm gonna
heart?
answer
Y'all
you. I
love to have a heart and feelings for everybody else. But
so
when
you
it
want me
comes
to
to
forgive
moving
you?
on from stuff from 9 years ago, we still holding on to the
Ooh.
same stuff. Like we are
No,
in a year of laughter, love, and inspiration.
no,
Let
you're
Phaedra
These
come
are
and let
Rob
us
Dykel.
laugh. Let Phaedra let us come and love. Let her come and inspire us with her shade. And maybe she could teach us how to read a room and stop,
Okay.
I
letting
already have
holding on to
Kenya for
stuff.
that.
Just move forward.
First of
Phaedra is
all,
the reason
Kenya,
our
Phaedra
college
is
went
going to
great.
come back.
no, she's not.
She is going to get on this cast, and we're going to see how this works out. Because let me tell you, now, as Mel said, Jackie does not like the mess, but she can throw some shade. So as soon as it's coming her way, oh, I believe her and Phaedra can definitely have it out because Phaedra's not going to back down. It could go
Mm-mm.
one or two ways with her and Heavenly. Her and Heavenly could get along great, or they can butt heads because we know that Phaedra knows how to get up under your skin and Heavenly knows that she could just say whatever that comes out of her mouth and let it roll. I'm interested to see how her and Toya can get along because her and Toya give me Portia and Phaedra vibes. I mean,
Mm.
big brain, little brain.
You
Um,
have freaky
and
thinking
then
mind.
we got
Interesting.
Anila. Anila will be easy to get along with. Her
Freaking
and
fraud.
Quad already have a friendship, and I
That's
think
true.
it'll be interesting to see her and Simone, and what that may turn into because Simone is a flip flopper. So one day she may like her, and then the next day she may not. So I
Right.
think it'll be a great way to shake up the cast. I think we need to get rid of someone, and that person, in my opinion, needs to be Contessa. I mean,
Mm.
Oh,
she didn't give anything last season but lies, lies, and more lies. You are not honest about your marriage. We obviously seen that you and Scott are still having problems. The children are having chaos in the house. How is your daughter coming downstairs and threatening an adult because your mom is being dishonest with everyone? Contessa needs to take a break from the TV and go get your family together, get your marriage together. Let Phaedra come back on and have some fun with the girls and show us what reality TV was all about in the first place. Fun, shade, and giving it all to the TV as she has always done. Period.
Mm-mm.
I remember
Okay, wait,
Phaedra.
Royer, give me one
Come
second,
on
E. Royer, we don't have a heart for that heifer. I didn't say it. I'm
Thank
just
you.
saying, okay? But
Nano, love you.
And we have to say the reason that Quad and Phaedra will get along great is because they was bouncing on the same man. Weren't they both with Dr. G?
now.
yeah,
Exactly.
but that's okay.
I'm telling you, it's okay. Listen,
okay.
it's okay. This is what I want to say to you, Diva. At the end of the day, I'm totally not advocating for Miss Phaedra as a personal, advocating for her. What I am advocating for is non-boring television. I
Oh,
don't
That
know
part, Bill.
boring television on my TV. I'm tired of it. So, just as I love what you were saying, she read the woman down back and forth to her soul, to the hell, to back and forth. I love it. The simple fact is, I need that on the show. I'm tired of these people up there being contrived and boring. And I think that what Roy has said was spot on. Some things that he said I didn't even see coming. I was like, oh yeah, she might have these different interactions with people. So that is a sign to me. I think this might be one season. I don't think it's going to be a couple of years. It might be just a little thing because they can't put her in Atlanta. They're trying to put her anywhere that they can use her so she don't get, maybe contracted to VH1 or somewhere else that she's been. They just want to put her into the Bravo
Yeah,
family. So
forghettoness and fraudulent stuff. That's why she would be great.
so
Sebastian,
wait
she
one
coming.
second,
We
Sebastian.
need
Wait,
her.
hold on, guys. Lord Karma, you're in the building. What would you like to add to this conversation?
Mm-mm.
Hi, Greyhead Diva. Hi,
Hmm.
everybody. I just honestly, I'd rather have Phaedra back on Raw. It needs something. We've had Kandi for how many years doing this? Yes, she's a singer. Yes, she's in a band. She has fans. So what? What is she actually bringing to the show? What is she bringing? Nothing. She's had no storyline. I'm sick of her saying every season with her kids lined up, handing out the allowance and Todd getting the most out of all the kids. I mean, what does Todd do? She got a sidetrack, a little like series, and it just fell on its feet. It was terrible. She's just not bringing anything, and it's time people woke up. So what has she been since season 2? She is not bringing anything. It's like dead wood. For the time when Phaedra's been on the show, it's been messy, it's been funny, it's been light shade. Yes, it got dramatic with Kandi, but there's been worse what's happened on these shows and the way people have behaved on. And you had Portia even come back on after Dragon Kenya. You know what I mean? It's just, nah, I think it's time to give Phaedra the peach back. It's overdue, well overdue. They need something to juice this up because it's on its last legs.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, Lord Karma, let me ask you this. Why, when we bring up Phaedra, this is to like everybody, right? We gotta knock Kandi off her pedestal. Why can't this be a separate thing? Phaedra did what she did, and she had to pay the consequences for what she did. Exactly. So we're not going to kick Kandi off the show to usher in Phaedra back in. Phaedra got to fit in where she could fit in. So you know what, Phaedra? Go over there to Married to Medicine. Help bring the ratings up.
But the thing is, David,
yes,
Kandi's making the ultimatum saying she doesn't want Phaedra on the show, she'll walk. You can't make ultimatums like that. This is Bravo. You either toe the line, act like an adult, have it out with her, squash it, move on like an adult, because how many years has it been? Or you leave. It's like you stop
that part. See, this gentleman knows what he's talking about.
You're stopping someone else's check over pettiness. What happened 9 years ago? And how much money does Kandi have? And you know what can tell me that Kandi isn't petty? Have you seen how she's treated her bandmates? It's disgusting, the one what left.
Kandi holds grudges, but hold on, guys. Let me acknowledge this really quickly. I did hear that she had a heart attack. And went into cardiac arrest, but that's really sad. At 54, she passed away. Listen, this year I will be 53 in March. So to me, that's young. Listen, the older you get, you like, oh, that's young. That's young, 54. May she sleep in peace, Lisa Marie Presley. I'm hoping all her children at this point, I think they're probably young adults. I hope she doesn't still have like young ones. So rest in peace, Lisa Marie Presley. That's sad.
That is sad because she was at the Golden Globes and people were saying she looked not well. She was going around, walking around, and
she was there.
She was there, and I saw the pictures of her. She was in a beautiful dress, and she did look very gaunt. But maybe people thought it was a flu or something. But this a couple of days ago. So now. She's gone.
Wow. Well, I heard earlier she went into cardiac arrest. That's really sad.
Yeah, she died. Her mother announced it to the AP.
Oh, that's so sad. That's very sad. So sleep in peace, Lisa Marie Presley. Okay, so Lord Karma.
She's with Michael now.
She's with Michael now. Sebastian. Sebastian.
I'm serious. She's with Michael.
Okay, Sebastian. Okay, let me, Lord Karma, let me address you because I'm gonna choke Sebastian virtually. Because I just am. Lord Karma, let me say this. I like your energy. Your energy. But here's the thing, because I also said too, why can't Kandi just forgive Phaedra? But then people had to snatch me all the way together, and it took them a while. Because I kept saying it and saying it and saying it and saying it. But they're like, Diva, what Kandi did what Phaedra did is serious. She said something that could have had people thinking that Kandi was, what's his darn name? Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby.
Right, the same thing's going on in the likes of Potomac, where you got Giselle accusing a husband of sexual harassment.
Yeah. 100%.
Still sitting there, and she's done it all the way through for all the husbands, but she's still sitting there on the show, sitting pretty, and won't be touched.
But it's
Like,
different.
it's
It's
a double
different.
standard.
And we can't forget Lisa Rinna too. Lisa Rinna was talking about people who could be possibly doing stuff in the bathroom with Doreen. Vicky
Yes.
talking about,
But it's different.
but I
But
would say
Kandi
this,
made
but I would say
millions
this.
on
Can I say
that
a
tour.
suggestion? I was going to say
The
this.
vegan tour.
Jen Shaw just got sentenced to about 6.5 years. How many years should Phaedra be sentenced in the Bravo universe for spreading a disgusting rumor? Now, Kandi has to realize
The
that.
same rumor.
Well, but thank you, Diva, you catching it right there. So the thing is, we had a woman commit a crime, federal crime, and she gets 6.5 years. Phaedra repeated something disgusting, which is par for the course on Bravo. And she's been gone for more years, and this woman's going to be sentenced. So what are we doing? Like,
What are we doing? The Bravo universe. You know what, Mel? Well, you had me catch something right there. And you know what, Mel? This is going to be my next court case now that you done helped me out, okay? It's going to be Kandi Burris versus Phaedra Parks. We're going to bring this case to court.
Okay,
I like that. I like that, Mel. You helped me out, and that was a good defense on behalf of Phaedra. So if somebody's going to be Phaedra lawyer, you better catch that right there.
That would be
You
me.
know what, Diva?
Well, wait, hold on. I'll come to you. Give me a minute. Somebody said, though, Mel, for life, she gets sentenced. Oh, my God. All right. So go ahead, Robin. I think you was trying to say something.
I think if they tweak the formula a bit, there is a way for the two women to coexist on the same show.
Right.
Because we know that this is not real TV. It's not real life. It's reality based.
But it was real life for Kandi, though.
Let me finish. Let me finish my thing.
Sure.
So, one of my best friends is friends with somebody I don't like, and you know what? They do things without me. I'm cool with it. They don't have to always have every single body who's on the cast at every single event, and that's the way for them to coexist peacefully. There, I've solved it for everybody.
But they get paid per event and per show, so that's why some of them get mad when. That's why Sharice was mad that she wasn't invited to the Grand Dames event, because that was less airtime for her and she couldn't get paid. So go ahead, Sebastian, and then we're going to move on to the next subject. Yes.
People, listen, I don't like Kandi. She's boring as hell. But I don't like Phaedra either. And I'm going to say this. All these people who are saying all this, how would you feel if someone spread an accusation that could land you 10 years in the penitentiary? Please tell me how would you feel? Would you ever want to work with that person again?
Okay,
Would you not make sure
I
you
will
never
answer
coexist with that person again?
question.
I'm saying I forget. Trust me, if I was Kandi, I would have forgiven Phaedra, because one thing is, I don't like holding grudges. But one thing is, if I do forgive you, I forget about you too. You're never gonna be involved in my life anymore. So
And has Kandi asked Phaedra for forgiveness?
Why does Kandi have to ask Phaedra for forgiveness? What did Kandi
do
to
to
Phaedra?
Sebastian, to me, the difference.
She never betrayed her.
So the rumor. So the thing is, nobody pressed no charges. Let's put it that way. This is what I want to say to Sebastian. So for me, if a rumor which was disgusting at the time, now we got to remember that Kandi was associated with people who was, allegedly connected to some kind of trafficking.
I'm not saying that's not true.
Can I finish? No, I want to finish it. So that the idea was that there was rumors around a group of people in the land. Let's just put it that way. We ain't going to go into details. There were rumors about everybody. So now they put a rumor onto this lady that was wrong. It was shady. It was messy. Nobody pressed no charges against her. It was being messy, boots, terrible. And I don't think that what Phaedra and Portia did was right. But do I think that now that this lady got charged for 6 whatever years, and she's going to wait for hurting people for real, and now we're going to convict this woman who's did something terrible, disgusting, and shady? Listen, no, I think
they're not the same thing, Mel. Like,
but no crime. But Sebastian, honey, no crime was committed with that rumor. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There was no crime committed. And no crime was committed.
Okay, so hold on, guys, because we gotta just come to the middle ground and say we gotta agree to disagree. But I will say this, somebody said that let's just that Kandi and Todd were holding Apollo stuff in his house and this, that, and the other, and they was just wrong for that. Phaedra knew what she was getting herself into when she met Apollo. Phaedra, in my opinion, she knew what Apollo was doing, because you meet a man. It's very hard for people to come out of prison, jail, or whatever, and then just rise to the top just like that. Some of them struggle just getting jobs. So now you're saying your man came out of jail, he just found a job and started a business and was making all of this money, and you had no clue that he was still doing fraudulent stuff. Phaedra, stop. I think that Apollo took the hit. He took one for the family. And I think everybody knew that. And even though I think Todd and Kandi is crazy because I'm not hiding no stolen merchandise up in my garage, house, or anything, I think they did it because they was feeling sorry for him because they knew that he was taking the hit for the fam. But we're gonna move on because we gotta.
Amen,
We
Diva.
pulling the train into the
I
next
agree with you.
station.
Well, we
Yes.
can't frame her for the decisions that he chose to do, but I'm going back in the comments. Y'all have a good night.
You
Thank you,
also, thank
Uriah.
you, thank you, Maria. Okay, so let's move on. We're gonna move on to Lori Harvey. Now, listen,
Oh God.
Steve Harvey, he married Marjorie. Okay, and listen, they did what they did. They got married. When he married Marjorie, she came with a package. Her children she already had, and Steve, God bless his soul, he decided to adopt those kids as
Yeah.
if they was his own.
Mm,
Okay. So he
mhm.
adopted those kids. Somehow, and it's not Lori's fault. Somehow, Lori Harvey, out of all the kids that Steve Harvey has, his before Marjorie, his that he got when he married Marjorie, all the kids, all of them mixed in a basket together, regardless of how old they are, your kids are still your kids, right? They could be 50 and you could be 90, that's still your kids. No matter how old they are, all the kids mixed in a bucket. Somehow, Lori Harvey has risen to the top. She's the
Yes.
queen bee. She
Mhm.
is the one. She's the golden child. And now all the other kids, they pissed off about it. But why are we blaming Lori Harvey? Is this Lori's fault that she's the chosen one? That she's the prize? That she has risen to the top of the food chain of the kids? That she gets everything that she wants? Is this Lori Harvey's fault or is this Steve and Margie's fault that they're putting her up on this pedestal? And that is why she's at the top. She cannot be the chosen one unless they made her the chosen one. Now, Robin, what do you think? Lori Harvey, out of all the Harvey kids, she's the chosen one.
Yes, she is. And as you were speaking, I could hear Prince singing the beautiful ones in the back of my mind. But here's what it is. Steve Harvey wrote that book.
Yes,
Think
yes.
like a lady, act like a man.
Mm-hmm.
What I want is Marjorie's book because I think that she played. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be disparaging, but if I'm gonna go there, I'm gonna go there. I want to read her book because I want to know how she talked this man into adopting her children, who now are in the pipeline to be heirs to all of his fortune. And then how, for whatever reason, she Chris Jenner Lori to help her. I think that she helped to guide her to her own bits of fame and some fortune. I haven't been able to figure it out because we don't know anything about the other children. This is the only one we know anything about. So we don't know if they're horrible people, if they're just lazy and trifling. We don't know if little Lori was just such a good daughter to Daddy Steve that he now dotes on her. I mean, come on, he's on a press tour right now, talking about how wonderful she is.
Hmm.
I want to know more about the other kids. And behind that, I want Marjorie's book.
So let me say this.
Oh,
Michelle said, Michelle, you don't have to do this now. This ain't right. You gave her whole government name. You know she just goes by Lori Harvey. You said Lori Townsend Woods Harvey. They didn't run driver. Stays relevant any way she can. Now that ain't right. Don't
that
give
is
out
so.
her whole government name, and she has legally changed her name to Lori Harvey.
I'd like to go next.
Sebastian, Lori Harvey. It's not her fault that she's at the top of the food chain when it comes to the kids. Okay, the parents put her there. What are your thoughts?
This is what's called pretty privilege at its finest. Lori Harvey has a golden ratio face. Her face is equally nicely well chiseled to each cell on her face. So when you have a child with pretty privilege, parents tend to favor said child more.
Mm.
When you have a child with this type of privilege as well, parents tend to put this child for brands. When you have a child like this is exactly what happens when people have child star kids, i.e., Britney Spears, i.e., what's her name? What's her name? The one that made a book called Why I'm Glad My Mother Died. Jeanette McCurdy. This
Oh
is what
my.
happens. This is what happens. When you have these said children, you resent all your other kids and you just lean towards this child. I have a relative who's gone through the same situation. Sadly, it's horrible. But
Wait,
Steve
you
will
going through the same situation where
no, I'm not going.
you
No, no,
at the
no.
top of the food chain?
No. I'm not going through the same situation. I said I
Oh,
have a relative that is. My aunt and her children are going through this situation because she has a child who's a model who can do everything and then has another child who's just a nothing and just drinks alcohol every day. So this is the this is the
see,
result.
that's a little different of a situation. I'm not saying this right, it's a little different, right?
But
But
pretty
none of Steve
privilege.
Harvey kids are like out there being bums and just scraping the bottom of the barrel and not trying to do the right thing. The kids are crying out, what about us? What about us?
It's called pretty privilege. Now he has Lori, who's gorgeous, who can be on the cover in certain magazines and everything. He don't give a f about all these other kids. It's Lori that matters to him now, and especially what Marjorie
Right.
has done to him. Which I'm not gonna say what she's done to him, but if you're
Uh-oh.
spiritual, you know damn well what I'm talking about. Um,
Margie got Steve wrapped around every piece of her body, okay? Not just her finger. You know how they used to say you got her wrapped around the finger? Margie is running that household, okay? And we know that. And listen, it is what it is. But all I can say is, like Lori Harvey or not, this is not her fault. She's pushed to the top of the food chain.
her
Mel, Lori
mother's.
Harvey, she's the chosen one of the Harvey kids. What are your thoughts?
Now you see with Steve Harvey and his family, I don't follow him as much, so that's why I would probably take a pass and pass the baton over to Mr. Emmanuel because this part of I'm focused on Phaedra and Miss Giselle. I don't
Okay.
know the Lori them that much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Emmanuel, Lori Harvey at the
Yeah.
top of the food chain.
Yeah, look, it's one thing when like the friends of people all want to go to the person that's the most popular, but when it's your own father,
Yeah.
and his kids are grown, but that doesn't mean that they don't need their father, And
Yes.
also, why exactly is Lori Harvey famous again? Because I know that she dated Michael B. Jordan and then she dated P. Diddy and his dad. But is she just a model? Is that the only thing she does? Or is she an actress too?
Well, you
Just
know what?
pretty
Here's the thing.
face.
A lot of people are questioning, what her job is.
Right.
And here's the thing, a lot of people question the Kardashians and sometimes their jobs. So if the Kardashians can do it, then Lori Harvey figured, why can't I? Right? So we can't hate on her for whatever it is she does or doesn't do and why her name is in these streets. But she's the chosen one, and I guess it is what it is. So all I'm saying to you is right now, you know, is it really her fault that she's the chosen one? I can't help it if mom and dad they always want to call my name. And
No.
Hot says she's a socialite, okay?
Mm.
And a model.
Okay, I get it. No, yeah, it's definitely not her fault. I put all the blame on Steve Harvey.
Okay, and the mama, she's the chosen one. I thought the link was pasted to the top, but I dropped it again for you, Warrior. Okay, so Lori Harvey is the chosen one. What are your thoughts?
Well, you know,
Uh-oh.
with a good nutritionist,
Here
we
we
all
go.
can be the chosen one.
Oh,
I just think, have at it. You only live once. Do the damn thing. I like Lori. I don't like her mama, but I like Lori. So, keep doing what you're doing.
Lori Townsend Woods Harvey. Thank you, E. Lord Karma, you're in the building. Why are people hating on Lori Harvey? She can't help it that she's the chosen one.
The chosen one. It's very good there, isn't it? Personally, I'm sort of on the lines of what Mel's saying. I only know certain things what's going on. I'm from the UK.
Wait.
I know certain things, but all I'm going to say is, from what Sebastian was saying about the way they treat one kid better than the other, no one should do that in the family. Everyone should be treated equally on the behaviour and how they come across. And there shouldn't be any favourites. I would never do that to any kids if I had kids. They'd be all the same. So I don't understand it, why this Laurie's favoured out of all of them. I don't get it.
Right. But should we be mad? Should we be mad at Lori or the parents?
The parents. It's the
Thank
parents.
you, Lord Karma.
Definitely the parents.
That part right there, right? Thank you, Lord Karma. I do appreciate you for that. Okay, Royer, you came back in the building. You hopping on and off the train tonight. What brought you back on?
Listen, I feel that the people are taking their frustration out on Lori Harvey, and it is Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey is a problem in America. Now, this is my issue. You have this book called Act Like a Woman, Think Like a Man, but yet and still your wife runs your whole entire life. She tells you what to wear. She tells you where to go. She tells you how to dress. She tells you where to live. She tells you who to adopt and who to call your children and who to throw off us. Like, and we're going to put this off on Lori.
Wait.
Lori is
Hold on, Roy. I'm going to let you finish, okay? So his book is a fraud. He said, what's the book? Act like a what?
Act like a woman, think like a man.
Act like a woman, think like a man.
I
But in
agree
the
with Royer.
meantime, his wife tells him everything that needs to be done. Okay, go ahead, continue.
So we are taking our frustration out on Lori for something that she is only following behind what she's been led. If we're going to have an issue, it needs to be with Steve and Marjorie, because Marjorie doesn't have a clean past either. She has done some things that are just intolerable, in my opinion, just
Like
to get to the
Phaedra.
dollar. And now you have landed on your golden egg, and she is going to do whatever she can do to make sure that that golden egg supplies all of her needs and then some. So Lori just happened to fail on a blessing that her mom, may end up turning into a curse, in my opinion.
Oh, I agree.
Well, you know what the problem is. At the end of the day, everything that they're now accusing Lori Harvey of is what her mother did. But see, her mother did it before her name was really famous, right? Her mother did all of her stuff before she became Margie Harvey. So people had to talk about and dig into her past. Where with Lori Harvey, she's doing it in real time. She's doing it while people know her name. So everybody she dates is out there. And so that they're tagging on this label to her, and they're tagging it on mainly based on her mother. It's the same with the Kardashians, the Marjorie Harvey and the Lori Harvey, but they're doing it on Lori on a lower level. She just, but again, her being the chosen one, that's Steve and Marjorie. That ain't her fault.
Not her fault at all. And I think it is just deplorable
That is
the
true.
way
It's not
that
her
he has
fault.
disrespected his other children. I mean, you have 3, 4, 5 other children who were here before these 2 that you have adopted. Like, huh? Where?
Who does that?
Who
What parent
does that? I see. If you Google Steve Harvey right now, I guarantee you that Lori Harvey will pop up before any of the other children. That is
Yeah,
a
she's at the
major
top of the
issue.
food chain. She's at the
At the
top of the food
top of the
chain.
food chain.
She's
That's a
the
problem.
chosen one. She's the chosen one. When she walks into the room, all the lights come on. Okay. When the other kids walk into the room, the lights dim
The
down.
lights dim down. Oh my God. God, this is it's so sad. And
It's very
it's
sad.
horrible. And I really have an issue with Steve Harvey, y'all. Steve Harvey is problematic, especially if you listen to him on the radio. He is problematic. And he has made Family Feud problematic. And now here you go, got an own Family Feud going on in your own home. And
That
you
part,
trying to
ain't it
tell other people
ironic?
how to live and act.
Mhm.
Have several seats. You
And
go down to the stadium, whatever stadium you want to pick, out of all the seats in the room. You pick one, you sit there, and you think about all the things that you have done because this is foolishness. He
foolery.
got to go.
He gotta go.
Okay.
Foolery at the highest level. Shannon, make sure you have turned off everything because you was giving feedback. Come off mute. And what do you want to say? Listen, at the end of the day, it is what it is. Lori Harvey is the chosen one. She's at the top of the food chain when it comes to the kids. What are your thoughts?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, everyone. I agree
Hi.
with Roy Air. I used to be a big Steve Harvey fan back in the day when he said he was homeless and he was on the Apollo. And I know it's over a period of time, his ego started changing. He got
Mhm.
like too high for everybody else. But when people read out about that book, Think Like a Man or whatever, I had friends
Mhm.
read out about that book. And they were telling me to get it. I said, why? He's not a psychologist. He's not licensed. He's just talking from experience. We can all write a book. So when I told
That
them
part.
that, they said, so you're right. He's a comedian that wrote a book and y'all think he's Dr. Phil.
Oh,
So that kind of like woke everybody up. But I know all three of his wives, even those twin girls of his, he cheated on all those women.
yes, he
He
did.
had one lady got pregnant. She got a book on Amazon, and he silenced her. He was with Mary. He was with her before he got with Mary. It's a lot of stuff parts of Steve Harvey, but I blame him and Marjorie for Laurie's downfall because they're building her up to let her down. Because I think if
Yes.
somebody come with a bigger pocketbook than Steve, Marjorie's out of there.
Oh.
I
Oh.
agree.
Wow. Hashtag watch out, Steve. Oh my. Wow. I don't.
Hashtag watch out, Steve. Listen, she is gonna leave him broken penniless. What's gonna happen is somebody gonna come with a bigger bag. She gonna leave him, and you know what's gonna be the jacked up part? Them kids gonna take him for everything he got. Cause why he done adopted him, she gonna get him to change his will, and it's gonna be a wrap for everybody else. This is a pitiful shame.
It is a pitiful shame. You know what? I think the will is already changed because you said it, Royer. Marjorie is running everything. She has got that man brainwashed. Whatever Marjorie say, he does. He
Spaghetti.
don't make a move without Marjorie. Marjorie said we're about to go outside. He's like, okay, you can go to Family Feud now to work. He's like, all right, you can go
He
work
be
on your
looking like an
radio show.
old
He's like,
pimp
good,
fool.
huh?
He be looking like an old pimp fool. She be having him out here looking foolish. Sir, this is not who you are. This is not who you are. Who is this?
You see, I
Who
Pop
is this
never,
star.
man?
I never even knew who Lori was, but from the way you described it, Lori sound like Isabella from Encanto.
You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I think Lori Harvey is a beautiful girl,
She is very
and
beautiful.
She's beautiful.
I think again, you turn out based upon your circumstances, right? And again, this is not her fault that they put her on a pedestal, okay? The other kids, they went to McDonald's and Lori Harvey was at the steakhouse, okay? That's how it went down. That's
Mm-mm.
how it went down in that household. Lori Harvey is just the chosen one. And Marjorie and Steve can act like they want, but that's just the facts is the facts. What
So
about the other kids?
Lori
And like you
Harvey,
said, wait, I'll let you female. But like
yeah,
you said, Roy, if you Google Steve Harvey and Marjorie Harvey, his Lori Harvey is probably gonna come up as one of his number one kids before the rest of the kids do.
wow. So you're basically saying Lori Harvey is basically like Hillary Banks and everybody else is Moesha.
They're
Pretty
not
much.
even Moesha. They Kim.
Oh God. All right, guys. So listen, here we go. We got to keep this train going. I'm gonna go to Giselle Bryant.
Okay,
Giselle
yeah.
Bryant from the Real Housewives of Potomac. That thing. She know how to be shady. I'll give her this. She know how to do reality TV. She know how to do reality TV. She know how to run her mouth, and she really don't care as long as she get her check from Potomac. She's another one. Don't give a darn what she had to do and how she has to do it in order to get that Real Housewives of Potomac check. She pretty much said she is done with Dr. Wendy Asefo. Okay, she got nothing for her, no love, no nothing. It's funny to me how she just can't seem to forgive Dr. Wendy, but Karen and her can go through the worst scenarios and they hug and kiss and make up at the end of every reunion. It's a whole hot mess. She also said about Candace Dillon Bassett or Bassett Dillon, whatever, however you say her name. She said that Candace always wants to play the victim. And I said to myself, I was reading an article. I said, hold on. Candace always wants to play the victim. She got dragged by Monique. Okay, and we're not gonna go down back and forth because we gotta agree to disagree. Monique dragged her by her hair, was trying to snatch her up and beat her down on national TV. How is she playing?
And then she dragged her on social media too.
Thank you, Mel. Okay,
Yeah.
and wait, Mel, and then she made a song about dragging her.
And then she made a entire series on her YouTube channel about the books at the fire in the pit about the woman. You know what? I gotta jump in, Diva. You know what, Giselle? I'm so sick of her. I'm gonna be very straightforward. I'm sick of her because this is like all these seasons. She is okay, Giselle. I believe you're a human being. I know that people hurt your feelings. I know that when you go home, you eat food full of salt that makes you bloated. You go to your house, you lay down your pillow, you probably cry in the pillow at nighttime. And then you get up in these interviews and say, I don't care about anything. I don't believe you right now. I do not believe you anymore. You are a human being. There's no way in hell that you can hurt these people the way you've done for all these years. And then when somebody interviews you and you say, well, I don't care what I've said. I don't care how people perceive me. I'm over that. I'm so sick of her, truly, at this point. That's why I really called in, because I saw that article too, and I said, not again. Not again.
You said not no more, huh? Not no more. Let me just add this. Let me add this. But she also said that pretty much Candace just did too much when she said she wasn't trying to be malicious when she came to Candace to tell her that Chris made her feel uncomfortable. Giselle, stop it, Giselle, stop it. You want to sit there and try to say that someone's husband made you feel uncomfortable, and the story is so ridiculous and far-fetched that none of the fans even believed you. I think that Giselle thought she had a hit, and she didn't realize that the fans were going to drag her for filth because the story was just so stupid and messy. And then once she found out that she was getting dragged for filth, and even Robin had to abort shit because Robin knew that was the wrong road in the name of Portia. Wrong road. Yeah, sneaky link. Call him a sneaky link. That's malicious. That's salacious. Okay? And so Candace gets mad over that, and you're saying that she loves to play victim? And then she also said, but I think we all agree with this, she said between Mia and the whole Jacqueline fight, she said she's team Jacqueline because Mia was doing the most. Okay, she pretty much said that Wendy is one person, off camera and a whole nother person on camera. And she said she can never have a woman-to-woman conversation. So that's why she's done with her. And she said, in addition to that, she ends it off by saying that she loves the way that the sisterhood. I'm like, the sisterhood? Where do we see sisterhood on the Real Housewives of Potomac? She loves the sisterhood. In addition to her loving the sisterhood, she says she pretty much said it. What everybody has been alluding to, see, if you let people talk enough, the truth will slip out their mouth. She alluded to, she said that I love the originals. Okay? And who are the originals? It's her, is Robin, is Karen, and is Ashley. She said, I love the originals.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, give me 1 minute, Sebastian. If you think about it, everybody outside of the originals has trouble staying on that show. Monique was not one of the originals. She's gone. Wendy is not one of the originals. They want her gone. Mia was an original. They want her gone. Candace was an original. They want her gone. They only want Sharice because they're sick of Karen and they want to stick it to Karen. But everybody that was not a part of what Gizelle calls the originals, they want them gone. Go ahead. Who wants to speak?
I
One
do.
second,
I
though.
do.
Let me speak real quick
Okay.
because I'm gonna hop off because
Okay.
I'm with
Well, give me
family.
1 second, Roy. Yeah. Well, Chef Cab, thank you for the super stick. I truly appreciate it. Go ahead, Roy. Yeah.
Giselle is problematic. Giselle has been problematic. She will continue to be problematic. I think the fact that she is saying that she has nothing for Wendy is not surprising to me. You have nothing for anybody who reads you for filth and tells the truth about you, and you can't handle the truth about yourself, but you can go around talking about everybody else and what their truth is. So she's upset because Wendy sees her for who she is, and Wendy gave it to her, and Giselle can't seem to pick up her face of what Giselle or what Wendy gave her. When it comes to Candace, Candace is young, Candace is successful, Candace is smart. She is reviving herself educationally. She is reviving herself as an actress. She is reviving herself as a musician. She is reviving in a new light. And Giselle cannot stand the fact that someone younger than her, prettier than her, is coming up in the game and doing it better than her. And then lastly, as far as the situation, what was the last one? I'm sorry.
I don't know.
Uh
You talk about
oh.
Mia and Jacqueline?
Oh, Mia and Jacqueline. Um, I agree. Now, I can't agree with her on that. You brought Jacqueline on this show. This is a 30-year friendship. Jacqueline needs to go. I feel like it was very disrespectful how she did Jacqueline on the show. And if Jacqueline would have said something like that to me, I probably would have said back to Mia, well, if your coot wasn't so old and dry and used up, your husband wouldn't come and ask to use mine. So,
Oh my.
Who
Oh
is
my.
Justin? He's
I'd
kind
like
of
to go
foreign.
next. I'd like to go next.
And
Okay,
I'll
go
go
ahead,
y'all
after
have a
that.
good
Sebastian. Thank
night.
you, Roy.
But
Yeah.
wait, who is Justin on the screen? He's kind of foreign.
I'm screaming. Goodbye.
Okay. First, I want to say
Yes,
this.
go ahead,
I want to say
Sebastian.
this. The
Yes.
OGs are Karen, Katie, Sharice, Robin, Ashley, and who else? Giselle, the six. Um, I personally think Giselle has.
Wait a minute, Sebastian. I'm gonna let you go, but Trent, he always comes through
I
and want to
know, I
start
know.
some mess.
I'm
Trent, thank you for the super chat. But Trent said Giselle is queen and may she reign forever and ever. Okay,
okay.
Trent. Thank you for your thoughts there. Go
I
ahead,
agree with Trent,
Sebastian.
but where do you want her to reign in hell? Giselle has Giselle is going through issues right now, considering that, as I said, her beauty has faded over the years, and we've clearly seen it. She's starting to be saggy. We see that happening on screen. I don't think she's colorist. A lot of people do. I don't think she's colorist. What she is, she likes to stir the mess. She likes to stir the pot. This is what a producer does. Could she have favorites in stirring that pot and mess? Yes, that she does have favorites. But I do not believe she is a colorist. I also think that any women, I'm going to say this and I'm going to get dragged. If you lie on a man for SA or SH, you should be on the fiery pits of hell. Death to all of them, in the words of Wendy Williams.
Wendy.
That's it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Robin.
I would like to start out by saying something nice about Giselle.
Yes.
What?
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
Giselle does not spend her Bravo check on wardrobe.
Clearly.
That's it. That's the nicest thing I can say about her. I think you said something earlier, Diva, about she said that she doesn't have anything for Wendy. She can't talk to her woman to woman. Did you say that?
Yeah.
And I think that she's probably right, because if you pair them intellectually and their level of maturation, I think that Wendy would rather having a discussion. The only child she'd rather talk to that's a girl is her own and not Giselle. Giselle cannot stand next to, can't go at. She has nothing common. She is vapid compared. She's mean and she's nasty, and she uses that to deflect to show how absolutely shallow she is. That's it.
Thank you, Robin. I'm Sean. Wait, hold on 1 second. Sean, thank you for the super chat. If Giselle is queen, off with her head. She is boring. Those sorority tricks are tired.
That's
you know
right.
Do not bring the sorority into this. I have to defend.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
Robin is an
Okay.
AKA.
Watch out.
I think that she uses.
Hold on, everybody. Wait, hold on. Mel, it's your turn. What would you like to add?
Well, I want to say sorority. Yeah, sororities are wonderful and beautiful, but I think that the way she uses it is demented and terrible. I think that she is stuck in her past. She likes to haze people, and like I was saying before, she is. I don't want to say hate. I don't like the fact that she goes up on these interviews and she's done this for years. It's so we don't know anything about her except for the fact that she's nosy, she's mean, and she's nasty. And I don't, you know what, the people that she said she liked from the originals, I mean, that goes into the conversation we're having this whole season about the idea of colorism. Now, as I was saying in one of these reviews, I'm not going to label a woman that, but I have questions that I do want to insert at the reunion.
We got questions. That's all.
Questions.
We got questions. I like that now.
Yes, I have questions and concerns. So I want to know why when Wendy came back, they did what you said the lady's supposed to do every time. We go to war every season. We go to reunion. We go to war. When we come back, Karen, when I come to your house, please, I'm supposed to do it on my face. So why when Wendy decided to give you some sugar, some love, some hugs, and the whole season, I'm reading her interviews. I'm looking at the confessionals. Wendy did not go low with none of the girls. Really, she didn't go about, oh, I know about the taxes, I know about this, I know about the business. She didn't do that. She could have went up there and just totally nuclear, but she didn't do that. So that would have sort of been the reason why people wouldn't want to film and deal with her. So now the question mark is there that I want to know why is the reason. What is the reason if she's not doing the negative things that you do to other people? So I think that Giselle,
know what, Mel? You a great point you brought up. Hashtag questions and concerns. Okay, so we'll drop the colorism thing because it's pushing them a certain way, right? They get emotional about that. So let's say this: we got some questions and concerns that we need answered because it's looking like it's
looking very murky, unbalanced, and unfair. And I think that for me, I need at the reunion for them to hold her accountable and for Andy not to go colorism. Go, I have questions and why? And she wants
specific
to. I think as Karen said before, she's good at asking questions, but she's not really good at answering them. And I also want to think in her interview, she said, "Oh well, I can't have a woman-to-woman conversation with Wendy, honey. If it was two women at that table, you would not be one of them. Let's put it that way. It'll be one woman at that table. Okay, so it wouldn't be it would be a woman who's almost 60." Or a female who's almost 60 living like she's in the college days. That's what would be at that table. It would not be a woman with degrees and a good mother and all that kind of stuff. Giselle's a good mother, but she's not a good human, in my opinion.
Okay, boom. Yeah. Emmanuel, Giselle.
Okay. Robin is right. I think Wendy would rather talk to someone about the political climate or something of substance. And Giselle has absolutely nothing to talk about. That's why she spends her time fabricating lies like the one that she did on Chris.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, because if you guys remember in that first episode, Wendy approached Giselle and like she was willing to like be nice and whatever. And remember, Giselle was like, no touching. My question is I'm just wondering, is this how Giselle behaved when she was the first lady of a congregation?
Probably.
Because that is not very, forgiving or what she's supposed to be. And everybody just bear with me here. I like Candace this season, but I think we need to bring back Monique. Since we're talking about bringing back Phaedra or whatever, I just thought about it. Monique need to come back. She needs to make a comeback because her image was kind of, she wasn't seen in the best positive light in Love and Marriage DC, and I think she has some unfinished business in Potomac. Definitely. So I would like to see her back.
I would like that
she dragged Candace across the bar thing. What
Diva.
Diva. Her business is done.
Candace she said, drag me, Monique. Drag me, Monique. Drag me. Those are her words.
Yeah, you can't ask for it. And then let's not forget, Diva, Candace had a knife in her hand and was waving it all across Ashley's face.
A butter knife?
The butter
A
knife.
butter
Prince.
knife, you could do some bad things with that.
If you're mad enough.
Yeah.
Well, man, you know how. Listen, me, you talk all the time. I would just say that she was waving a butter knife at a woman who she told to get her home, and I think at that time that woman did not want to leave the house, so she was just sort of gesturing her in a very nice and calm way with the butter knife to sort of exit to the left, basically. But I think that
That's all she was doing.
But
That's all she was doing with a butter knife. That's it. She wasn't going to stab nobody.
But I will say this: I like Monique very much when she first got there. I thought that she went deranged at the last season she was there. And I don't think it had anything to do with Candace, in my opinion. It had, again, to do with that Giselle, with her stirring the pot. She misdirected her anger at Candace, in my opinion. And
Come on now.
And I want to say, people kept saying, oh, Monique. Oh, I'm sorry. People kept saying Monique said, drag me. But what if I went up to Monique and said, honey, said, pay me, but you're going to give me a lot of money or something? Like, she's not somebody who, you're going to say something she's going to do automatically. No. I think that, but I would like Monique to come back. But if she does apology tour and she becomes friends with Candace, if she, they become friends, because I actually think them together would annoy the Green Eye Bandits. So I would love that very much.
So hold on, man. I gotta get to Eve, and let me say, I gotta say this though. Monique coming back is like having Phaedra go back to Roa. We're not doing that. It's not gonna happen. I'm coming to you, Eve, but one moment, Sean. Thank you for the super chat. Nothing against the Greeks. Giselle has not matured beyond hazing another woman. Come on and speak the truth, okay? Wendy wouldn't bow down, and that's Giselle's real issue. Well, amen. Thank you for jumping on the train. I appreciate that. That's facts. Hashtag facts, okay? E, what do you have to say?
So much. I want to start with Monique.
E, before you start, Trent, you said it well. Monique is unhinged. But go ahead, E. Go ahead, E.
Monique was being attacked from all sides. We have to remember this colorism. This issue with colorism didn't just appear this season with Wendy. They've treated Monique differently from the beginning. They've treated Candace different from the beginning. The issue between Candace and Monique was Candace was privy to the underhanded storyline that Giselle was going to push regarding the paternity of that baby. And by Candace going against her sister, because that was supposed to be her friend, that is why she got dragged. It has nothing to do with whatever. The thing is that if you and I are friends off camera, we have a pact. I come to you and we say we're going to stick together, and then but that's what Candace did is similar to what Phaedra did to Kandi when she went and started filming with Nene and being friends with Nene. Wait a minute, we're cool. We don't like this person, but you're going to film with her and kind of throw me under the bus and you're not keeping it real with me. That's what Candace did. That was the betrayal. So that's why she got dragged. What my problem with Candace and Wendy is when it comes to these questions that we had these questions long ago. Candace sat on that reunion and she lied and said, oh, there was no plot to take you down. But then they showed the clip and she was talking about at the baby shower. Giselle did say they were going to talk about the paternity of the baby. Candace threw Monique under the bus. Wendy threw Monique under the bus and said she was aggressive. You threw Monique under the bus to stand toe-to-toe with these people who are your oppressors. So now that Monique is gone and they don't have anybody to turn on except you, well, that's goodies. You deserve every single bit of it. Wendy doesn't get any sympathy or compassion from me. I think that as a professor, when she threw that label out of Monique being aggressive and this, that, and the third, even if Monique was unhinged, she had a moment. So, I mean, listen, if you truly feel that way, then you stand up and you fight for yourself, the same way Monique had to fight for herself. Wendy and Candace, I have nothing for you. I agree with Giselle. Candace does want to be a victim. That is her trademark. What is that thing, that triangle that she can't film a scene without? Listen, stand up, be a woman. Stop crying every 2 scenes. You are powerful. You are Black. You are beautiful. We don't need the tears. Come on, you're a professional. You're a professional. And I don't believe those tears anyway because you're a trained actress. Stop it already. I believe, Giselle, that Candace wants to be a victim. 1000% for sure.
Okay, oh my, Lord Karma. What do you think?
Hi.
Hi.
There's a lot, I think. But the first part is with Monique. Technically, she did not touch Candace. She touched the roadkill on her head. She was trying to save Candace from that roadkill what was jumping all over the place. Let's get this right. Candace was the one with the glass and she smashed Monique's lid. So anyway, to Giselle. Giselle is so low. She will go over to Beverly Hills and ask Dorit for the homeless, not toothless, just to fix her teeth. This is how tight Giselle is. Giselle has never looked classy. I'm sure Giselle, the home is 3 stables in one, and she has a horse in there, and she keeps on growing that hair for a weave because it looks that way in the season. It really does. It is not getting better from season 1 up to this season. God. It is a mess. What is Giselle spending this money on? What is going on? Personally, I think Giselle has got something bitter against men. And the Pastor Holy Horse definitely done a number on her because she is bitter with any man what is in close range of her. She's like Robin, like the Terminator. She tries to take every husband out when she sees them each season. This is her storyline. I'd like to see what is going on.
Wait, hold on. You hit a nerve there. I like that. She's the Terminator. She tried to take every husband out. That's facts. Give me 1 second. I'm going to let you finish. Ace Club Noob, thank you so much for the super chat. Hey, Diva. Hey, Clan. Thank you. I like that. You're right. The Terminator. She tries to destroy every single marriage. But you want to know what's ironic? You around here destroying every single marriage, but you want a nice relationship. The two don't live in the same home. You can't be hating on others, but then praying that you get something good. But continue on.
And like I just say, like, I want to know who hurt Giselle because there's something sadly wrong there. There is. To be going and inflicting pain on other people's marriages and trying to rip them apart for a story. I know Potomac's messy. I know most of it's fake. But leave marriages alone. I mean, I know fine well she wanted that wannabe hobo Santa, what they call Chris, in that room so she could do something with him because it's been that long. But he's not having. Why would he want her when he's got Candace? Come on. The thing is, Giselle, it's like pretty green eyes always laced with lies. Like I say, she should be wearing giraffe necks, not turtlenecks, to cover it all up. She is an absolute walking mess when it comes to it. She needs to get a story and a one of her own. For once.
She needs to get a story in one of her own. Now listen, guys, we got to get ready to pull this train into the last stop. As we pull this train into the last stop, I mean, I'm going to get the book because, you know, over here we get the book, we read the book, and then we talk about the book. Prince Harry wrote his little tell-all book. He is having like group therapy, and sometimes group therapy works, and sometimes you really need individual, just home therapy, you and your therapist one-on-one. You ever you tell a friend your story or your situation, and sometimes they're listening only so as soon as you hang up, they're going to tell somebody else, and they never really help you resolve your situation. They just want to tell other people. I'm not quite sure how Prince Harry just letting everything out to the world is helping him. And why is he doing this? And I am 10 toes down that at the end of the day, his hurt and his pain, part of his hurt and his pain is that he's missing his father, his brother, and his family. At the end of the day, you were raised with your sibling, your brother. And brothers fight, siblings fight. But you miss your dad and you miss your brother. And I think this thing is a whole hot mess. But I also think, in my opinion, that the book shouldn't have been written. There are some things, and I'm not talking about in an unhealthy way. There are some things that you just need to keep out of the public's ear. Keep it not to yourself, but not for the whole world to consume. Just my opinion, and I'm gonna let everybody talk. Sean, thank you for the super chat. The child who doesn't feel the warmth from the village will burn down the village to feel the warmth. Woo! Woo! Well, you know what? You know what? That's a statement right there. The child who doesn't feel the warmth from the village will burn down the village to feel the warmth. That's like a Iyanla Vanzant type of message right there. I'm connected with that message, Sean. Thank you for that. I'm connected with that message because I used to love to watch Iyanla Vanzant because when she did, the football player's name is leaving my mind right now, but he was on there. And she told him, you know why you dancing on that darn football field every 2 seconds, acting like a fool, even though they told you they're going to find you if you don't stop? She said, you're doing it because you're dancing, because you never got the attention from your father, and that's why you're carrying on like this. Well, you know what, Sean? You said a word there. I get it. Bedside BK, thank you for the super chat. Does Harry talk about his African answer? See, don't do that. Diva, I don't disagree. Okay, Diva, I disagree. Okay, that part. So you're saying some people, I get it. The collection plate for that word, right? That was a word right there. That was a word right there. Robin, I gotta leave that word up for a minute. Robin, what are your thoughts? Prince Harry airing his dirty laundry out to the world.
I say let him do it, and he should keep talking until he can't talk no more, until he doesn't hurt anymore, until he feels some bit of vindication or some bit of solace. Listen, no matter what, they are not able to control their narrative. This is a big reason why they've gone as public, if you will, because what was revealed, and I want to read the book too, but like I saw a few of his interviews, and I get it. He was a sitting target. He was sitting where the royals and people connected to them were planting stories in the press. If you remember, when he was just dating Meghan, his grandmother put out a statement saying, "Leave this boy alone." That's the only bit of anybody coming to their rescue that I can recall, because he must have gone to his grandmother and let her know this is harsh on them. And no matter what, there's not going to ever be a stop to people writing about this, that, or the third. And you know what, Diva, if you're going to write about me and make money, I'm going to write about me and make money. I'm going to tell my truth. I'm going to tell you how I experience it. Because you know what? Remember, they said the royals are not going to will not fund Meghan and Harry. They refused to pay for security for them. So I say let him do his thing. And Sean Dudley McClure is absolutely right. The things that I have heard so far through his interviews and reading excerpts, he was treated like crap. Really crap. And so he's just striking back, and I'm all for it because, I'm a pretty vengeful person myself.
I guess I'm not. I dropped the link again. They're telling me the link isn't pinned there. So there are people that's like, tell your story, expose them. I'm just one, like, I don't see, he's saying it's therapeutic, right? But still crying out. I don't know how therapeutic that is, but Sebastian, this tell-all, what are your thoughts?
While digging for revenge, dig 2 grave holes, one for yourself and one for your target. You want to be talking about this? Oh, who's that?
Can everybody mute themselves because we got a little echo? So while Sebastian talk, please. Nathan, I did hear. Very sad. Thank you for telling me though. But go ahead, Sebastian.
As I said, he's gonna need to dig 2 grave holes when he's digging for his revenge. This is a complete lie. You've completely said you wanted a private life. You and Meghan wanted a private life. But yet again, the royal family doesn't talk about you at all. You wanted the private life, but you're the one who's out here parading out your thoughts, parading out your experience, parading out everything. I'm not saying you can't, because you're in America, you have freedom of speech. You know, the country that broke away from your family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like the fact that people are feeding into this nonsense. Okay, the Black community was mad when they heard about the family was worried about what color the baby was. You know damn well in the Black community we have that same issue as well. Calm down. Y'all know damn well y'all be thinking, Is he gonna be light skin? Is he gonna be dark skin? Is he gonna be what?
Mm,
Y'all be doing it
mm,
too. Calm down.
mm,
Y'all know damn well.
mm. Well, you
You
know
know
what,
damn well
Sebastian,
it's
don't get
different.
beat up. Sebastian, don't get beat up tonight.
I'm
Don't get
tired
beat
of
up
this.
tonight.
And
But
you
you know
know
what,
what?
Sebastian?
I'm tired of
Sebastian, I'm going to say this to you really quickly. You're speaking facts, but continue on.
I'm gonna
I'm
come for
tired of this
Sebastian.
nonsense. This nonsense about them crying out, oh, this and that with the family. I'm tired of it. It's for clout, it's for money. If you know you have an issue, you really wanted a private lifestyle, you wanted to live outside of the monarchy, you'd keep your mouth shut and you'd live in California where you live or wherever. You'd keep your mouth shut and live peacefully and gracefully, and you'd walk in the streets
such
just like
thing.
everyone else. But
No
that's
such
not what you're
thing.
doing. Your
That
family has
never
already
happen.
moved
They will
on.
never have
Your
a life
family
that's
has already
But
moved
private.
wait, Robin, let him finish and then I'll come
Your
to you.
family has already moved on. And if you truly wanted
Yeah.
to move on, you would have get rid of your Duke and Duchess titles immediately and stop having it as on your website. Stop putting yourself as the Duke of Sussex. Have your wife remove the Duchess of Sussex from her name as well. Get rid of the HRH titles if you truly want to get out of this royal family and are condemning it every single second that you could see. Trust me, yes, condemn that family because I know y'all be doing crazy ish up there. But don't be having that title when you're doing it as well. Because you're the only seeking the revenge back onto yourself because you're still part of it.
Okay. Let me say this. Outside of Prince Harry and this whole situation, when you have a husband and wife and y'all don't get along with one side of the family, life is hell. Life is hell. If the wife doesn't get along with the husband side, or the husband doesn't get along with the wife's side, and you ask either your husband or your wife or whatever your partner is to just not disown your family, life is rough. Eddie and with Dr. Wendy Osefo, they're tight, they're thick as thieves, but you would best believe it's hard on Eddie, okay? His family not seeing his kids. Let's be clear. But go ahead, Robin, really quickly, and then I gotta go to someone
Really
else.
quickly, I just think that we don't have a clear understanding of what it means to live a private life. They are things that they can keep private, but better believe between TMZ and every other bit of paparazzi, there is no guarantee. They cannot escape and they can't live in anonymity. They're always going to be followed. They're always going to
Please
be.
tell me the last time we saw them taking a picture, the paparazzi taking a picture of them. Please tell me it. Please tell me. Because You're being we're very irrelevant. It's the books and podcasts that make them relevant.
All right. Wait, somebody.
I'm giving you the death stare right now.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, go ahead, speak. Who was trying to speak? Did I lose everybody?
No, but somebody's echoing like crazy.
Yeah, somebody was echoing. Okay, so let me go to who didn't speak on this yet. Laura Carmen, did you get to speak on this?
I would love to speak on this as a British person.
Yes, nice. Yes, that's right. Okay, let me sit up.
Yes.
Let me sit up. Yeah.
Right. This is what we got. This is how I'm going to say it. In the UK, we had no issue with Meghan coming into the royal family. We were celebrating, thinking it was brilliant, something new, something good to come to our country. And she changed with her attitude and how she treated her staff and how she behaved. What you've got to understand is the royal family, they're not celebrity status like it is in Hollywood. They actually work for their money. And that's what they do around the world and doing charity work and opening events. Meghan wanted her foot half in and out. And she wanted the perks but not doing the work. And she promised the Queen that she would help do the work. The same with Harry. Now, of all the people who she married in the royal family, the one who she did marry was the actual racist one. That's what we find what's hilarious, because his background on Diana's side has Indian in it, and there's a certain word in the UK what's a bit like the N-word in America, and Harry was always calling them that word, and he is racist. He treats people like as though he's superior. Diana used to always have problems with him as a kid. It was well known. And William was always respectful, knowing what to do. Anyways, that's going in the past. This is now. This couple didn't want to work for the royal family. We as UK citizens, we pay their money through taxes. Why would we want to pay for Harry and Meghan when they're not doing anything to help us? It makes no sense. It's like yous don't want it. It's like your president won't do anything for yous, so you're not paying for him through taxes or anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Just you don't do that, and that's why the royal family said no. If you want money, you have to work like the rest of us who's working royals, because there's other royals what don't work and they don't get tax free. They've got to get their own jobs and work. That's why. So Meghan wasn't happy and they wanted to go to Canada. They went to Canada. That was the plan. Canada was getting sick of them and the ways. The whole point is Meghan was wanting to get back into America, and the pair of them grifted making money. And to throw your family under the bus is disgusting through and through. And I'll just like to tell everyone this, from one Brit out of the majority of the UK, no one is bothered about skin colour. We never have been. It's like in every country, you will get a minority of people what are racist. Regardless, anywhere in the world, any different ethnic group, you will get it on both sides. But the majority, we don't care. We think more about like actually paying our bills, getting along, and being happy. You know what I mean? It's
I do.
It's a different world here than what it is over, from what I'm hearing, what it is in America. So for Meghan to come out blasé and saying that on Oprah, we were all gobsmacked and we're just like, what? The same as Oprah, like, how dare you? And then they've retracted it now and said, oh, we never said there was any racism going on in the family. They're retracting it now in the papers and everything and on interviews. This is what I mean. They come with half-truths to make the public think that there's something more to it, and the public get riled up instead of seeing them for what they are. I mean, they got dropped by Sunshine Sacks because they had enough of them. Netflix was having enough of them with the Carry On because they weren't putting out the media properly and taking the time doing it. As for Harry's book, who needs to know whether he's having sex with a woman behind a bar in a field? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And for it's embarrassing. I honestly feel there's something mentally going wrong with Harry, and I think he's been like that since he's been young. He doesn't seem stable.
I think, you know what I think? I'm going to be honest with you. This was, when it's a first of certain things, a lot of times it's hard for that person being the first going through something, right? Even like, to take it to a different role for a minute, the first people that talked about that Harvey Weinstein, they got shut down. A lot of, people didn't believe them or didn't want to hear what they had to say. A lot of people that first talked about Bill Cosby, the first people, they, it was like nothing. So what happened is with Meghan and Harry, they're the first that have done this interracial thing in that whole organization, so to speak. So it's a mixture of a whole lot going on. One, that they're the first to do something different and to break that code of marrying, outside of the race, so to speak. So things that are happening, it's like a blurred line. Are they just happening because they're happening? Are they happening because it's racism? Or is it happening because of XYZ? And it could be happening as a result of a mixture of everything. But the thing is, because there's a primary thing that the world has an issue with to begin with, this color thing, the fact that it's a biracial relationship, they're going to push every issue that is being had between those two as racism. But these are my thoughts on it. Everybody doesn't have to connect with it or agree with it, right? So it could be a mixture of everything. And then sometimes too, listen, in-laws and when families blend, there's problems outside of before you can get racism or royalty or whatever. Take couples that nobody knows their names and you put them together And sometimes those families just have major issues coming together. Okay. Oh, well, our family don't do things like that. Y'all just go eat wherever. We sit down at the table and eat dinner. Oh my God, we go to church every Sunday. Y'all don't go to church. So just bringing families together, period, is problematic. But now you brought families together. You brought not just different cultures together. You brought royalty with non-royalty. So now you got me who don't even know anything about royalty. You know, I could just go meet my grandmother. But to meet your grandmother, I got to learn how to curtsy and say XYZ. I could normally just wear whatever I want to wear. But now that I'm part of this family, somebody got to dress me, make sure I'm not showing too much cleavage. And for this, I got to wear a hat and I got to stand up straight. And I can't just go do with my friends and be this and do whatever. So I think that there's so many dynamics going on. And in addition to that, the brothers had issues before Meghan came into the picture. And Harry, and let me just say this and I'll let you speak, and then I want to move to some others. And then Harry had his own issues in the family before Meghan came into the picture. He was the black sheep, so to speak, of the family. And then now you have Meghan coming in, and it just was the perfect storm that actually happened. That's my take on it. But I will add this. It's not so much of I don't feel people shouldn't tell their story. I think there's a time and a place for everything. And I think because his family and in their situation was already in the perfect storm, this book dropped a whole grenade, a bomb, and every other nuclear weapon you can think of.
Right after the documentary, too.
Thank you, Sebastian. Right after the documentary, this book was the nail in the coffin. But go ahead, Lord Karma, and then I want to get to Emmanuel.
The situation with the book is Harry wanting to retract it because, you know, when you get angry with your family and you have fallen outs and you let your anger out and sort of build up inside, what you do is you write it on paper, but what you do afterwards, you rip that paper up. You don't go and sell it to make money out of it, to undercut everyone, because the royal family, they're not going to talk about it. They do not talk about stuff like that. They're not going to. As for Meghan doing that curtsy on Netflix, that was cringe and embarrassing. No one curtsies like that to the Queen. She is an absolute joke. And that was pitiful, the way she was behaving. It was. The UK is just looking at her like, you are ignorant. That's what they're looking at. And you do have to dress respectful in the royal family because it's an image as well. You can't go around showing your skin off, or Catherine would be wearing mini skirts and all sorts, you know what I mean? It's an image, what they've got to upkeep, good values, and helping the country as well as the Commonwealth. I mean, I'll say this, for every empire what's taken over around the world, the Queen did the Commonwealth and a lot of countries stayed with her. Now, not many countries would or would want to have any connections when they've been taken over, but these countries did because it worked out better for them and they had better rights and they could live better lives. And for them to come in and do that and ruin what the Queen did to help people, it's disgusting. And the whole of the UK is just gobsmacked by the way they're behaving and going on. I know why they're doing it for.
So, Lord Carmen, give me a minute because I got to let other people in, but they're saying that you just simply don't like Harry and Meghan. Is that so?
No. It's about respect and respecting people, and they could have sorted this out within a family and not taken it to public if there was an issue. I mean, they ran a mental health group, but he couldn't get Meghan mental health support? Come on. The best doctors are in the UK they had, and you couldn't get help for Meghan when she pretended that she had depression or whatever. Come on, it's a joke. It's an absolute fabricated joke. No one was against Meghan. They were all for her, but she didn't do the job.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on, Mel. I'm gonna let you. Give me a minute. Let me get to Emmanuel. Emmanuel, you're having an echo.
Am I?
Yeah.
Okay, let me leave and come back.
Sounds good. Let me come to you. And then Mel, I'll come to you after. E, are you still there? Okay.
You said me? It's my turn?
Yes.
Now, what did you ask me?
What do you have to say about this Prince Harry tell-all?
Oh, yes, yes, yes. So I agree with Sebastian. And
I love you, E. I forgive you for everything yesterday now.
thank you. This is my thing. And like I say about Mel, you have to choose one. Either we're going to be hot girl summer or we're going to be bitter baby mama. The same with Harry. Either we're going to be hot boy summer or we're going to be, oh, whoa, why is it me? Nobody likes me, yada, yada, yada. This is my thing. If you want to have a success story, and I've said this before, the best way you get somebody in the nuts is to never mention them again. Like Sierra, she doesn't talk about Future. Lori Harvey doesn't talk about Future. The way Harry could have handled that family, you come over to America, you start a new life, and you don't make your money talking about them. Because back home, that's what they can say. Oh, the way that you feed your family is by talking about us. We're your storyline, basically. No, get it out of the mud. Start over from scratch. Talk about this later. This Netflix series, this was supposed to be something like unsung. Like you talk about after you've made something of yourself. Talk about this after we've already forgotten. Like, stop beating this dead horse with a stick. They don't want you. You left. You didn't want it. What is this about? If you don't heal this and stop regurgitating in these painful memories, you will inadvertently pass this down to your children.
Yes.
Stop it.
Yes.
And the thing about, I really agree with Sebastian, was stop using these titles. I mean, if you left the monarchy, leave those things behind. I understand that's Harry's bloodline. I understand it, but it's such a painful thing. When you want to make a clean break, you cut everything off cold turkey. Okay, stop using those titles. You're citizens now. Be the best citizens you can be, because guess what? Nobody wants to hear a sob story from people who came from riches, from people who came from majesties. Like, stop it. Do you know how many people who came from nothing, who came from drug addict parents, who didn't even finish high school? And you're talking about you left the kingdom and you were a prince and you had to get that tough titties. Oh, excuse me, Diva. But, stop this. I want them to stop with these stories. I understand it could be a healing thing. I understand writing is therapeutic. I was going to write my memoir and I stopped. And the reason I stopped is because I didn't want to talk about my parents at a time where they lacked cognizance of what they were doing, because my parents were 17 and 16 when they had me. I understand that, we always want to hold, to a degree, our parents are responsible for what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I heard someone say, oh, the tension between he and the brother and he and the father was thick for a long time. Listen, you never know how life is going to play out. That's why it's so funny, because tomorrow is always a new day for something magical to transpire. Forgiveness is always possible. I'm sorry?
I said, come on, E. Tell about it. Tell about it. Here's the thing. If this therapy was helping him, it didn't help him after the documentary. It didn't help him after the interview. Now it's probably not going to help him after the book. When does it end? But I'm going to let you finish. Let me get to this super chat. The royal family is a symbol of racism. Commonwealth is, what is this word?
Euphemism.
Euphemism for colony. Diana wrote her book. British press eviscerated Meghan. All right. Thank you, Sean, for that. Hold on 1 second. Fifi, thank you for the super chat. We can disagree, but please don't call people trolls. Fifi, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. He has supported Divas channels for months. Fifi, thank you for that. And thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you and I love you for mentioning that. Yes. Over here, guys, I truly, 100%. Everybody has their opinion. We have to learn to hear other people, hear a side we don't want to hear, and let it go and release it. We all got our side. Let's hear people out. We may learn something, we may not. We don't have to connect and agree, but over here we're free to say what we want to say and do what we want to do, as long as we're not disrespecting people. Fifi, I appreciate you for just writing that. Thank you so much. Okay. Go ahead, E. Finish up.
Yeah, just one more thing.
Yes.
Because there have been people who I swore I would never speak to again. And then we run into each other at Target, or, we happen to see each other, or, somebody passed away. Our perspectives change from day to day, depending on what happens in our environment. So putting all of this out in the public, somebody said Diana wrote a book. Well, what good did that do? Stop writing these books. Start a new life. Break the generational curse, because you don't want those two babies to still be writing about these books. They have a chance at a new life. Start over. Forget about what you have already lost, because God may be trying to give you something better. I mean, you left it for a reason. Let it go.
Let it go. I'm a big proponent of that, E. Let it go.
Look
Okay,
where
so
it
you
got
did the
Diana.
documentary. All right, we watched it. It's fine. Now you're doing the book. The cries and the screaming. Here's the thing. Let me back this up and say this. If you keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that is called insanity. You did the book, you did the interview. It didn't change anything. How many documentaries, books, and tell-alls and information are you going to drop and think that you're going to get a different reaction from the family? You're not. Mel, and then Emmanuel, I'll come to you. Mel, go ahead. What would you like to say?
Okay, so I am very, 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 very ready for this topic. So I got a couple things to say. So first off,
Uh-huh.
yes. So first off, in the royal family, in my opinion, Meghan and Harry are the least problematic people in that family. And I repeat, they are the least problematic people in that family. In that family, they have many investigations going on. People have been on islands they were not supposed to be on. They were doing things they were not supposed to be doing. So I think it's very funny to me that the British press focuses on this couple about bad attitudes and what they were supposed to do and not do. In my opinion, they were pushed out the family and pushed out from doing the jobs they were supposed to do because the stories were being leaked. And that's what's happening. Stories of their lives and how they were living, and misrepresentations were being leaked to the press about how horrible they were. That was what he was saying in his interview. He said he did not want to write the book. He wrote the book as a way to support himself and support his wife and his children. But most of the stories that was put out there was not. It was done against his will. He was living his life and trying to do his job in that family, but the family didn't like them for whatever reason. Now, we also have to remember that this week or a couple of weeks ago, there was a woman, an older woman, who was pushed out because of some alleged anti-Black issue. She was an older lady, a high part of that family, and she was pushed out, or some kind of thing came out about her talking about Black people or somebody, whatever, some racism thing came out recently. In that family. So, yeah, Meghan and Harry are the least problematic people, in my opinion, in that family. Also, Harry saw his mother die, and he felt very strongly, deathly afraid that his wife was going down that road, that she was getting the treatment that his mother got, that it wasn't the same as his brother's wife. It was a different kind of energy going there, that they began fanatical about how evil she was, how bad she was, and he decided that he wanted to protect her. They were getting that treatment because people in that family was leaking stories to the press saying how bad she was, in my opinion. And this is what's going on. So I think that for me, it wasn't that he wanted to leave his family; it was that he was pushed out because of the choices he made, because of the choice he made to marry the woman who he loved. He fell in love with a woman from America who happened to be of a different race, and that seemed to rock the boat. And they just seemed to have difficulty because of that. He was trying his very best, and it just simply didn't work out. If anybody should do forgiveness, it should be them on that side and that family reaching out to them saying, "I'm sorry for leaking stories to the press about you. I'm sorry for not treating you fairly. I'm sorry for all these things." That was happening there. It wasn't that they wanted to leave the family. It was they were trying to do their job. It's just they were pushed out. So that's the other side of it. And I also think that I think it's just so funny. Like I said, Meghan and Harry are not the problem. The problems of that family. They have from the top to the bottom. Just go into the computer and do a little Google search about all these reports and these sort of money issues and terrible, horrendous crimes currently happening with one of the members of the family running away from children, basically, allegedly these Epstein, come on, let's just go begin. It's
Epstein
it's
Island.
I'm telling you. So let me finish this here. So that is the real thing. That is the darkness there. So how in the world can anybody say that, oh, well, Harry and Meghan are these problems and stuff like that? Are you kidding me? That family is full of problems. And what they did was they escaped with their children, is what I see. They escaped the darkness. They escaped all the problems in that current family, and they came to America to tell their story, to support themselves. They were cut off because they didn't want to be a part of the machine. Anybody ever watch House of Cards? Anybody ever watch The Crown? They show you there that things are going on. It's politicking in that family. If you don't do what we tell you to do, we're going to leak stories about you. We're going to tell people that you're a monster. We're going to tell people that you're a diva, in a bad way, and when that may not be the case. We're going to push it to the limit. We're going to make you feel depressed. We're going to make you feel like you should off yourself and unlive yourself. These are the things that's going on in that family. And Diana lost her mind, and because she was in that family, and she was married to a man who didn't allegedly love her. He's with the woman he loves now. So there's a lot of things going on. Fairness in that family is a joke. It's a total joke. There was no fairness there. There was no support there. Mm-hmm. They left, and because they were the only ones sane in that family, in my opinion.
So let me say this. Okay, thank you, Mel, for your thoughts. Irene said, which is interesting, right? We got to throw this in the mix. All women who came into the royal family, all, right? And we even saying this, right? Y'all saying Diana got the bad end of the stick too, right? Well, so is it a color thing? Hold on, guys. I'm going to let y'all in. Hold on. Is it a color thing? All women who came into the royal family were treated horribly by the press and the firm. Diana got dragged. Fergie was made out to be a fool and a slut. Come on.
That is true.
Didn't Meghan do her research? We just talking here. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. We're just having a conversation. Let me let Emmanuel.
Okay.
Let me let Emmanuel into the building and then smoke. Go ahead. If really quick now.
Okay. No. I would just say to that, everybody. So yeah, I understand if you're picking on people's supposed weak spots, whether it be weight or insecurities or race, that's not right. So yeah. So everybody's. So whatever they were choosing was disgusting. It's not. So for me, it's about a machine trying to, hurt or break people or whatever. But the simple fact is, so this now because it's Meghan's turn, let's put it that way, because it's her turn, and what's happened to be used against her as race, we're going to say, oh, well, because these other women went through it and one did not survive, that we're going to say, oh, well, it's not about, no, honey, listen, it could be about race, it could be about misogyny, it could be about many things. Okay, it could be about many, many things going on. But in this case, it is what it is. Pick your poison, basically.
Pick your poison. Yes. Okay. Emmanuel, what would you like to add to this conversation?
Look, this whole thing is just draining to me because my only question is this. Okay. Oprah interview, check. Netflix documentary, check. Podcast, check. Book, check. I just want to know, what is the end game? What do they want to get out of it? That's my only question. And that's all I want to know. That's it.
Emmanuel, thank you. So I am all for purge your stuff, right? You seek therapy. They tell you to keep journals for a reason, right? I always say this all the time. Your feelings need a home. They will wreak havoc when you try to keep them inside and cause all types of nonsense and situations within you. But a lot of times, back in growing up, when they used to give us a journal, or they called it a diary, it had a little lock and key. Why did it have a lock and key? Because whatever was in that diary was your business and your business alone.
Amen, Diva.
And you stick it under your bed, you put it in your dresser drawer underneath your clothes when you leave, and you take it out when you wanted it. And then I would have that little key to unlock it, and I wrote in it what I wanted, only me in that journal to know. And then I lock it back up, hide it away, because it was my business and my journal's business alone. So that way I purged my feelings.
Yeah.
They was out of me. I got it out of me, but I didn't go blurt it out to the world. But we have this trend that swing the pendulum somehow. Yeah. Because of social media, people have taken what belonged in the journal under lock and key, and now they're putting it on social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And you see what people do with your stuff that belongs in your journal when you put it on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. When you put it out there for the world to consume, they drag you for filth. They make you feel worse than what you felt before you released it. And when you release your feelings, it's to help cleanse you and purge you. But if you release it to the wrong person and in the wrong place, then you're going to end up feeling worse than you felt before you released it. So what's happening with them is everybody saying, let them speak their truth. Let them get it out. They have the right to say it. There's a lot of things that we have the right to say and do. But if you do something, you got to be prepared for the consequences to what you have done.
Well,
All right. And so wait, they're saying, Diva, how can you change the system if you do not call them out? So here's the thing. There's a lot of things in this world that we call out. You can call it out, but if you don't put no action behind your call out, all it was is a call out. Every time something, I'll talk about my community for 1 minute here. Every time something happened in the community, come on, let's go march, let's go march. But what happens after the march? Nothing. And so then because nothing happened after the march, the next time the same thing happens again, and then y'all call the people one more again for the march. Come on for the march again, y'all. But we marched about that 2 years ago, and they still doing the same thing. So you got to put actions behind what you do. So they want change. Their change is not going to be cry out in a place that doesn't even have that type of situation. You crying out here in the US, but it's going over there in the UK is what you're talking about where the problem is. Well, come on now. You got to make it make sense. So I'm saying that, like Emmanuel said, he said, check, 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 check. And after all of these check marks, y'all still don't feel better. So you want to have everybody exploiting you and getting all up in your business, and no change is going to come about. After one of these check marks, but now there's 4, when do you go say, mom, I'm not mom, excuse me, dad, brother, sister-in-law, let's talk?
Exactly.
That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Smoke, let me come to you.
I don't trust him.
Right. Smoke, let me come to you. What do you want to add to this conversation?
I'm a firm believer you can't do wrong to a mother and tell them how to respond. So if they want to drag the family through the mud, so be it. And here's the thing: we're talking about a monarchy that was a main advocate and main support behind slave trade all over the world, and they have been benefiting for generations off the backs of others. So I'm here for them getting exposed in this way, because at this point, clearly them trying to handle things behind the royal gates, the closed doors, has not done anything right. So you get them where it hurts the most. Expose them publicly. And people won't forget that. So I see no problem in them having this documentary, him writing this book, them going on interviews. Do what you need to do, because technically they are establishing, and someone said it in the chat, that they are establishing lives here in America, and also their security is expensive. So yeah, so they have to do what they can to, fund the protection for them and their family. I'm just like, why are we working so hard to protect an institution that has caused so much devastation and chaos throughout the world in history? Why are we trying to be like, oh no, it's the royal family, like what are we doing this for? Like, hell, so what they let them have their day in public court and let people see them for who they really are and what they really do behind closed doors, and not just be like, hello, polite, sipping their tea, but they are actually disastrous monsters. And even to Mel's point, they are caught up in a lot of stuff that they shouldn't be too. So guess what? Expose them, Harry. Keep doing it. We want Africa wants their blood diamonds back, and especially that diamond in Africa back. Let's return everything you done took from every other place. And maybe this situation, y'all will change the generational trauma, and you will do better, and you will actually heal together, so that there isn't another Meghan and Harry 100, 200, 300 years down the line. Or Diana.
Silence is golden. Silence.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Maybe you are right, Sebastian. Maybe you do.
Listen, guys, I'm about to have to close this out, but I won't. I'm not one that silence is golden. I'm one that you got to make it make sense what your agenda is. Like Emmanuel said, what's the end game? You here just shooting dice and hoping something sticks, right? You got to have a plan and you got to have an end game. But when you out doing something, see, here's the thing: people will exploit you, right? And so if you think Netflix cares about Meghan and Prince Harry, they don't. If you think the publisher for that book cares about him, they don't.
Right.
Everybody cares about making their dollar. They don't care if Meghan Hills or Harry Hills. They're using them and they're exploiting them. So they're still getting exploited. They're just getting exploited by different people.
But Diva, I
And
don't
so
think that
if
Harry
you
will
think
ever. I don't think Harry will ever heal from his mother being, dying in the way she
Vilified.
did, vilified, and also dying the way she did. And also in that interview, he showed her death was never really. It came to no conclusion. They basically, he wanted to push it more, and the family was like, "Oh no, we're gonna leave it alone." So let me just say this: so there were some wounds there. What I'm saying is, Diva, and to Sebastian, and everybody else. I think the family, in my opinion, owe them apology, owe the children apology, owe them apology. I feel like it can't be them owing them apology. And I would say their plan for me is to protect themselves and to fund themselves. I think that they tried their best. I think they love their family, but I think that the family is full of vipers, in my opinion. And if you write in your journal, what if they went into in that scenario? What if they went into your room under your bed and or leaked it to the press, as they were saying they've done many times? Certainly,
it'd be different than you leaking it out.
No.
So,
Yes, it's because I got my power. You see, you're not backstabbing me, and if I trusted you many times and you got me together all the time, I'm like, no, leave me alone. Let me go with my children and my family. Let me support myself and tell my truth. You're not going to tell you're going to lie on me again. They were maligned for years. That's what I'm saying. They were totally maligned.
no, listen. Here's the thing. Let's do this.
Sorry, that's it.
Right. I understand what you're saying, Mel, but let's do this. It's not that necessarily I disagree with what's going on. Yeah, I'm not even saying like they're liars. I'm not saying that. But my thing is, I'm connecting with Emmanuel. What's the end game?
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing all of this, and what have you gained? You're doing all of this, and you're saying that pretty much, oh, he's never going to heal for XYZ. So you're adding more wound onto your wounded self. And what's going on? What's happening here? And all I'm saying is your biggest fight right now is, your family did you dirty.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you here in the US and you getting done dirty by some of the biggest crooks and people that exploit people, and that is Hollywood.
So Diva, here's my thing though. I know you're bringing up like Netflix doesn't care and whatnot. So is it any better than being silent and being behind the prestigious gates of London and getting all the pomp and circumstance and suffer that way? No matter what they do, they're damned if they do and damned if they don't. And sometimes it takes one person in a family where there's been nothing but trauma and a whole bunch of misunderstandings to really step out, and maybe the change may not happen in this lifetime with Harry and Meghan. Maybe it's just down the road where they actually will take accountability for all the wrongs they have done within their family, and that starts the healing. So maybe the end game may not be with Harry and Meghan right now, and may come with their descendants after them, that things get better, but it has to start somewhere. You can't expect people to suffer in silence and anything to have any change whatsoever, whether it's done behind closed doors or it's done out in the open for public consumption.
Well, Smoke, I'm going to tell you this is the royal family, and the royal family is the face of the Church of England. One thing churches don't get involved is scandal or politics. This is why this family has been condemned.
Really, that family? Oh,
they're not.
Hold on, guys, 1 second. Sean said the point of his story is that they don't operate as a family. Many families don't. They operate like a business. There are some families out there that do. They pick and choose who they're going to protect. Listen, Steve Harvey is protecting Lori Harvey. She's at the top of the food chain. Exactly. All I'm saying is at some level, way, shape, or form, what's happening over there happens in a lot of families. They protected Prince Andrew for years. That's what people do. It happens. Okay. So here's the thing, guys. Had I known that Prince Harry was going to do this to the whole trending topics train, I would have brought him up to the top of the food chain. This could be a whole discussion in and of itself. We all, I think, could probably in some way connect with each other are saying. But we have to say this. This is what I want to leave y'all as food for thought. And maybe we have to have a whole separate conversation about this. And I'm going to get the book and we'll be able to talk more. Food for thought is at some point, you know, they say it on the plane. When you get on the plane, they said if something goes down, well, put the mask on yourself first. Meghan and Harry have not put their mask on themselves. So they are going to drown, suffer, and all of that. You run in the streets trying to solve what?
Exactly.
Put the mask on your own face. Heal yourself. Heal your wounds and then speak. And you will be able to speak from a different place. You'll be able to speak from a place of healing. And then maybe you'll be able to speak to a point where things can be resolved. You can't come stab me in the back and then say, let's talk.
Amen.
Well, they did the stabbing first. They no. No amen to that. They did the stabbing first.
Come on.
No.
Did they stab you in the public?
Wait, hold on one second.
It was
They
private.
leaked stories on them. Yes, they did.
Diva, it's like we're telling people how to react to their own trauma in situations. We need to stop doing that.
Yeah.
But see, Smoke, that is, wait, let me say this. Robert, thank you so much for the super chat. I truly appreciate it, and I love you back. Let me say this, Smoke.
Harry and Meghan
Therapy is about another individual telling you how to get through your trauma, resolve the issues in your life, because at the moment, you don't have the tools and the capacity to get past it. And that's why you're in therapy. So now it's this catchphrase that we all love to say. We can't tell people how to react to their trauma. Yeah, we can. That's what therapy is about.
Wait, no, Diva.
Thank you, Diva. Thank you.
Hold on. Let me say this, and y'all can come at me. Give me 1 second. Let me say this. If you keep bumping your head against the same wall, I gotta come to you and help you and say, why are you not, you bleeding?
Amen.
You got to bust your head to the white meat. Stop.
But Diva,
let me bandage you up.
You funny boy.
Let me bandage you up.
Thank you.
But
let
Diva,
you know if you go this way, you'll stop bumping your head. Smoke, they said, let you speak. What would you like to say?
But Diva, what you're saying could almost be correlated to the same people when we have these traffic stops with cops, and we have people in the comments who tell them, well, they should have listened to the officer. Did they?
No, that's not the same.
I said it
That's
could
not
be.
the same.
I could be.
No.
I said it could
It's
be.
not the same.
As you're telling someone how they should react in their own situation, in their own traumas. So I think that when we say like let people vent however they need to vent, we need to allow people to have the space, because Harry's been going through this his entire life. We do not know what has gone behind those closed doors that he has kept to himself, and he finally feels like he has a voice to speak on those situations in the way in which he finds best for himself and his family. But we want to be gatekeepers and tell people how they should address things, when it's just looking like the man has been quiet for 30 years and he's been the public guy, and he had to go through some of the most traumatic things that any person has to face in front of the entire world.
But Diva,
okay,
you know,
y'all, listen, hold on. Y'all fighting, we fighting. The train is on turbulence. We fighting, and I'm way past my time. Like way past my time.
We disagree. We're not fighting.
No, listen, I'm not mad at y'all. I'm not mad at y'all. I'm joking. But let me say this though. We're gonna have to do a separate subject on this, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Let me take it
back. Let me take it back to a smaller concept. If you have a cold, you go to the doctor. The doctor tell you drink a lot of fluids and get rest.
Amen.
All I'm saying to you is my theory and my concept is no different than that simple thought process right there. You have a person who their whole life is, everything is going away based upon this traumatic experience that happened at 5. I could do one or two things. I can help you keep reliving this traumatic experience, and you will never have a better tomorrow. Or I can help you learn how to deal with that experience, navigate that experience, so that you will have a better tomorrow. When you keep reliving the past, That's when you will have depression, the this, the that, and the other. And listen, I don't expect, because people say, Diva, you don't understand. Just like y'all say, I don't understand y'all don't understand me. All I'm saying is at some point in your life, you got to live in the now.
Mhm.
I know stuff happened yesterday. I know what happened yesterday is messed up and jacked up. But you can't look in the rearview mirror, because there ain't nothing about yesterday that you can change. But you got the now. You got the today. But if you do today based upon the negativity from yesterday, you're going to guarantee some negativity today and moving forward. Let me just read this super chat. Diva, you better have this same energy when Ivanka writes her book, LOL. Listen,
Uh-huh.
guys,
But
I
Diva,
love
We
you.
Diva,
will.
can I ask you one
We
question?
are
Diva,
way
can I ask you one
over
question?
time. Wait, I'm gonna come
Overtime.
to
It's
you.
been
Give me
Yeah,
1 second, guys.
I want
We
to ask
are
you a question.
way over time. I'm
I
tired. I'm
know.
done. It's a mess. But I'm gonna give everybody 60 seconds. That's it.
Oh,
60
okay.
seconds, and then we're
That's
out.
good.
Robin, 60 seconds. What's your final word?
Good night. You yield your
Phaedra,
time
Robin,
to
I
me.
love you.
do
Thank
it.
you. Sebastian, 60 seconds. What's your final word?
60 seconds, Phaedra. I could care less if your raggedy self is on Married to Medicine. We'll see what happens that season. Lori, it's not your fault that you're that pretty and your adopted father favors you more than his actual biological children. Harry, you and your wife need to keep your mouth shut. The last time a member of the royal family kept on
Wow.
yapping, they made sure she was shut on right in the
Oh no,
car.
because Sebastian,
No.
don't do that. Don't
Megan
do that.
Sebastian's
Don't
an
do that.
apologist for the
Don't
royal
do that.
family.
Giselle,
But yeah, but I know what you say. Okay, so Emmanuel, 60 seconds.
Okay, I cannot wait for Diva's Court and defend Phaedra Parks, because she needs to be
Hello.
back in Atlanta.
Okay. I
Mm.
gotta set it up because we need some lawyers. Mel, 60 seconds.
You know what? I'm just going to say to Harry and Meghan, I understand you. I support you. I think we all do. And also for me, I see him as a good son. I see her as a good wife, a good member of the family. They, in my opinion, were pushed out. They tried their very best. And now they're doing in a classy way what the royal family has done. They are basically telling their story when the royal family went to the press and reported on them behind their
And
backs as
leaked.
chickens and
Uh-huh.
cowards. They go into the press and doing it in the correct way. This is what happened. They didn't want to do it. They were pushed to do it, in my opinion.
Woo, push to do it in a classy way. Thank you, Mel.
Come on
Lord
now.
Farmer, what do you have to say?
I've got too much, but I've got to keep it short. Thank you, Diva, for letting us come onto the panel. All I'm going to say about Harry and Meghan is take accountability, grow up for your own actions, and act like adults, and get the titles back if you're not going to be working royals.
ooh,
Sebastian, you need to
clutch
go to
my
bed.
pearls.
You
I
just,
know, Mel. Thank
come
you.
on now. He just
Mo,
his mind. He's
Mo,
out of his
I
mind.
smoke. I have my 60 seconds. Oh, I'm about to utilize it all. Oh, I'm here for Phaedra Parks. Keep the haters hating, especially the ones who don't like Sherry Shepherd. She just got 2 more seasons. In regards to Lori Harvey, Mama raised her girl right. Get that money, girl. Don't let that money make you. Giselle, gives it neck, ankles, Bryant. Bless her heart. I hope she finds the confidence to love herself, because she's just as ugly on the inside as she is on the outside. She just has a pretty appearance and covering. What else was on the topic? Did you have? Oh, you got Prince Harry, Phaedra Parks, Lori Harvey. Yeah, and for Prince Harry and Meghan, keep doing y'all, boo. There are people out here who support y'all. Y'all are taking the best accountability by airing the ASS out, and you are doing the work for your family that they will benefit in the long run down the road. So we are here for it. That's all. That's all.
okay.
That Sebastian,
Hey,
time's
listen,
up. Your timer's
listen.
up. That's
I didn't
all.
say
That's
it.
all right. You
They
done,
said
Sebastian.
Megan is
Go
like
ahead.
Jada Pinkett Smith. Y'all
Thank
starting. I
you.
got to go. But let me say this real quick. Look at Michael Jackson brother put up a picture of
Wow.
Aw.
Oh, that's
Michael and
nice.
Lisa Press. Yeah, they are together. You said it, Sebastian. So they are together. All right, guys, that's it. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. Trending topics was everything tonight. There was turbulence
Yes, they was.
on this train.
Yes, it
But
was.
guess
Yes,
what?
good thing
We
there were no
all
drinks.
survived. We held on. We respected each other, and that's all that
And
matters.
We
We'll
got to our
say
destination. We got to
thank you, Mel. We got to our destination. Okay. So
Saturday
everybody,
club,
good night. Get
Saturday.
off this train. I'll see y'all tomorrow night for
Saturday.
trending topics. Love you guys. Bye.
Okay,
Bye.